think.
I don't go there enough.
Neither do I. Neither do I. But it's the best. I know, because it's the best. It's the healthiest chicken for you. Other than maybe Polo Campano, they roast their chicken.
On the Taylor Island?
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
You watch the new Taylor Swift
I
album.
got an 8-year-old daughter. What do you think?
Oh, okay. I'll give you that.
Don't act like that's for Lily. That's for you. I was at Target this morning.
I know.
That ain't for Lily. That's for you.
Well, you gotta give him a pass. But you're right. That is right. He'll hear that motherfucker 3 times before she ever sees it. I don't know if he accidentally must have asked why.
Is being accidentally turned that on. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour. When it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Little thing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday. Big weekend in sports. We've got Oktoberfest staring us dead in the mug. We are inside a fortnight of our annual Honor Flight fundraiser. It is a fun time to be a part of American General Media. We'll unpack all that's going on. And I got so much show today. Chris, we're staying till about 7:15 tonight. We just got too much show. I don't know where to start. I suppose you have to go in chronological order with all that's going on today. Bye, Sean. Bye, Diddy. As most of you probably know by now, Mr. Combs received 50 months in a state prison. He'll do 4 years and 2 months.
Is that enough in your opinion?
No, not at all. Well, you know, I wanted the RICO case, so no, not at all. The prosecution wanted 11 years. The defense insulted the judge and the entire judicial system by suggesting that he get 14 months. What do you do, spit on the sidewalk? No. So we'll get into that in just a second. Hamas has allegedly accepted a peace deal with, of course, caveats. We'll unpack that. Rick Bentley will join us at the bottom of the hour. And that mystery man from the East, I just can't come up with the name. Anybody want to help me? Anybody? I can't steal. I mean, we're stealing the man's bid. I can't steal the man's name. I'd love to call myself Karnak the Magnificent. I would love that. That was everybody loved Floyd Turbo and Art Fern and all the other weird characters that Johnny did, but the only one I liked was Karnak the Magnificent, the classic Sis Boom Ba. That still makes me laugh every single time I hear it. Ladies, good luck this week. Oh no, they win already?
No. He's Seattle.
I thought
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're talking football. I'm sorry. No, they play on Sunday. They do play on Sunday.
Oh, but he's a Seattle?
He has adopted the Seattle Mariners, yes.
Miami to Seattle? What?
I think it's more the color. He also said that he had a soft spot for Seattle when he was following baseball a little bit closer, so I gave him a pass, but I can't necessarily, prove that.
I'm assuming.
Hey man, big dumper. Let's go.
Yeah. They'll be fun to watch. So help me with a name for our mystery man from the. No, I don't want to use Karnak. I mean, we're plagiarizing enough by stealing his bit, but I don't want to steal a man's The man's dead. I don't want to steal the man's name. Help me out. We'll do that with Rick Bentley. It's a fun bit if you've never heard it, where we basically do Karnak. And Rick does an unbelievable job of coming up with the jokes. I have nothing to do with the jokes other than my very weak impersonation of Mr. Carson. It is a Friday, so Brandon Lang will be here at 4 o'clock. And it is the 30th anniversary of the O.J. Simpson verdict, which I covered for Channel 23. I was certainly not going to get up at 5 o'clock to see the piece that Mike Hart did that included me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the beauty of television. A little DVR.
Zippy zap.
I swear, Chris,
Uh-oh.
I'm serious. I was a good-looking man at one point. I swear to God.
You didn't get your good side?
That's why I keep telling you to move this thing back, like to Lamont, because Hart had that thing on tight. I'm just not a very good-looking man. I'm just not. I tried to be like objective and, well, no, they got the bump on the head and the thing and the jowls and the weak mustache because I'm just too lazy to. It's not even mustache. It's just like hair on my face. You know what I mean? Like if I had a full-on mustache, it'd be cool. But it's just hair on my face because I'm too lazy to shave and I'm not due to get a haircut till Monday. And Gooby cleans it all up for me.
And yet, Gooby works with us here.
He does. And yet he didn't have time for me this week.
Oh,
That's why I texted him. I go, he said, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have time this week, Ralph.
You gotta wait a
And I said,
to leave. And pick you
yeah,
up
I
and
said,
take you.
when he didn't work here, he always had time for me. Now you work with me, and I can't get a haircut. But yeah, just not a very good-looking man. But it was a great piece that he did, and we'll talk about that along with Diddy's sentencing. And we got a pair of legislators, two of our favorite legislators in the 5. We're going to talk with Vince Fong at 5 o'clock, and David Couch, supervisor. See what I did there? Assemblyman David Couch, because he's going to win that seat. There's absolutely no debate who's going to win that seat. But and then I got some miscellaneous news and notes. John Gruden got a huge victory.
Yes, he did.
He's going to win.
I think so too.
He's going to win. His NFL case, first of all, he had to fight just to get it in court. The NFL obviously tried to squash it and keep it out of court. Then the NFL tried to keep it out of public view. And Mr. Gruden, former twice Oakland Raider coach, won a huge victory in that in a 7-0 decision, they said, no, we're televising this thing. And this is going to get funky because this is about emails and who released them. And a lot of these NFL executives are going to be, hand on the Bible. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. Yeah, Gruden said some horrendous, ridiculous things that and I'm a huge Gruden fan, that has even made me look at him differently. But he was wronged by the NFL, in my opinion. And I think he's going to win this case hugely. And Bradley Perez, remember that name, got a 6-year maximum prison sentence from our DA's office, who had a plea deal with a man who stabbed a teenager in the neck, killed him within an hour. And within 4 years, the man that wielded that knife, Mr. Perez, young Bradley, will be back out on the streets. And what do you think he's going to do? You think Bradley Perez is going to go straight? You think for the next 40, 50 years he's going to be crime-free? That he's got his violence out of his system since he's stabbed a man in the neck? That he's done with his criminality? Of course he's not. But our DA's office doesn't give a damn. It's one less case they have to try. A teenager is dead. Apparently, according to KGT-17 and their witnesses by phone, camera, in other words, 4 guys jumped this kid. He was initially charged with the suspect, was initially charged, 20-year-old Lawrence. Wait a minute, I'm getting this. Lawrence Leyva is the victim, the 20-year-old. Perez was initially charged with first-degree murder and assault. They got a plea deal with his attorney, and he gets involuntary manslaughter, 6-year maximum. Guess who his attorney was, Chris Burdick? I'll give you one guess. And ladies and gentlemen, if he gets this wrong, I'll give you $100,000 to your favorite charity.
I'm sorry, was this local?
Yes,
HA.
of course it was. Of course it was. Cynthia Zimmer in that office doesn't want to mess with Humberto. And they cut a deal for a man that took a knife and shoved it in the neck of another man. And in 5 years, you'll bump into the killer, the alleged killer. Well, there's a plea deal. He's a killer. You'll bump into him at the Valley Plaza in about 4 or 5 years. What do we talk about all the time about our judicial system? It's not that we can't get convictions. It's not that the cops can't get these guys. It's that we have a revolving door at these prisons, and these people commit heinous, vicious, fatal crimes. Fatal crimes. Someone is dead, and a guy's going to walk out of prison in 5 years. That makes sense to me. That absolutely makes sense. It just how those people on Truxton go home in their fancy cars and go to bed at night, I just don't know. I really don't. I really don't. You think if it was any one of their kids, they would have cut a plea deal? You think if it somebody been affluent in this community? Had that been a Giamar or a Valprado or someone prominent, that had been their child that got stabbed in the neck? You think that the DA's office would have cut a deal that would have sent a child to prison for 6 years for putting a knife in somebody's neck? If that was somebody we knew, if that was their child, you really think they would have cut a deal? I just don't think so. And again, how those people go home in their big fancy luxury cars and their gargantuan 3 6-figure salaries and go to bed feeling good about themselves, I just don't know. I just don't know. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. And we come back. The Republican Party tried again. Strike 2. Democrats needing only 5 to leave the reservation and join the Republicans and end the shutdown, said, no. So it will linger into next week. You will hear from the president's press secretary, Carolyn Levitt. We're going to replay Hillary Clinton, that we played for you yesterday, where Hillary says, back in 2016, we cannot do this. We cannot offer medical care for illegal immigrants. We are alluring them here. Alluring them? No, that's the wrong verb, Ralph. We're luring them. There's a difference between allure and luring. And I got it wrong. And Chris and I, after the break, will determine what will be our LA-Philly bet. And I'll break down the 5
nothing on the lunch you owe me?
I beg your pardon?
You don't remember the burger you owe me?
I paid that off.
I never got that burger.
You don't remember when Cassie Biddle came in here with the burger and you were chomping on that? That was a Bailey burger.
Yeah, okay, hold on. You got half of that. That's not fair.
We'll figure out what we're wagering in the 5-game series, and I'll break down the pitching setups, the matchups, game times. Although I'm feeling a little, yeah.
You and me both.
Monday, 3 o'clock start.
Cassie, keep 2 stools open.
Can you imagine both of us sitting at Casey Steakhouse 3:05 Monday?
One with the Howard jersey, one with the Silver jersey.
Don't you guys do it? Never mind.
What are you
Quick
talking
time
about?
out. Yeah. We're just getting started on a Friday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERN and streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. It's the JR Show.
So Chick Bag Clip Andre Gonzalez was asking, why are we upset that Dolores Huerta gets the money when we weren't upset that any other business gets the money? Well, Dolores Huerta is the only business in town that has gone out and actively campaigned for Prop 50 or any other political thing. That's why we're upset about it. You can't give money from a city to a political organization disguised as a nonprofit.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Rod Geis.
Hello, Kern County. This is Rod Geis. My wife and I recently changed our health care coverage to Medicare. We were so fortunate to have found Paul Sheldon. Paul and his associates Kelly, Lynn, and Christine were indispensable in guiding us through the transition. They have comprehensive knowledge and experience in all aspects of insurance, Medicare, and the option. They listened to our questions every time we walked in the door, and they followed up very promptly with the answers we needed. With Paul's help, we made the best decisions for us. The process was painless, and we now have comprehensive medical coverage at a very affordable price. So if you are considering retirement and a change to Medicare coverage, Paul Sheldon Insurance Benefits and Planning is hands down the best place you can go.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. King Door Company continues to set the standard in the garage door industry, and I'm here to tell you a few of the reasons why. First off, King Door carries Clopay garage panels and LiftMaster openers, so you're guaranteed quality and reliability well beyond the reach of most garage door companies, and it just gets better from there. King Door has a fleet of fully stocked service trucks with all the parts and tools to handle any job quickly and efficiently, and those trucks are manned by the most knowledgeable technicians anywhere. They have all the technical expertise imaginable and the most up-to-the-minute training available. In fact, King Door is so committed to training that they have the King Door Academy, a full-size, state-of-the-art classroom right on the premises with all the latest teaching aids, including working garage doors to simulate any installation, repair, or technique. Your garage door is a very important part of the safety, security, and look of your home, so don't trust it to anyone but King Door Company. Call them today at 397-2744, stop by the showroom at 7450 District Boulevard, or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I said don't mind, but what do you mean I am the one who dance?
Cassie said she's got 3 stools ready. Bring JR.
Yes. I mean, oh no. What are you talking about, Cassie? We have to work that day. Can't just show up. That's not right.
I only play golf Sunday.
On Monday.
I only play golf Sunday, though, and Colin's sick on Monday. But here is the Dodger Philly schedule for those interested. Game 1. No, I'll go through the whole series. I'll go through the whole playoffs for you. In chronological order. This is starting Saturday. Cubs at Brewers at 11:08 Pacific time.
Great series.
Really good series. Really good. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Cubbies.
I'm pulling for the Cubbies, but if I had to bet money, I'd put it on the Brewers.
That's safe.
The American League Division Series, Yankees at Blue Jays starts at 1:08 Eastern
Blue Jays win.
Pacific time. I should mention the Cubs and the Brewers are on TBS. Yankees and the Blue Jays are on Fox Sports 1. Then the game of the day, Dodgers at Phillies at 3:38 Pacific time. That's on TBS Saturday. Shohei Ohtani scheduled to take the bump for the Dodgers. And the ALDS game, the night game, is Tigers at Mariners. That begins at 5:38 on Fox Sports. Dodgers don't play Sunday, but the Yankees do at 1:08 Pacific. And Tigers Mariners at 5:03 Pacific. And then on Monday, the Dodgers play the Phillies at 3:08 Pacific time.
Pesky flu season.
Oh, I don't. It just came on to me. I felt great this
I've
morning.
been feeling it for the last couple of days. I don't know.
3:08 Pacific time on Monday. Dodgers Phillies. Game 2, Cubs at Brewers at 6:08 Pacific time. Then Tuesday, no Dodger play, but the Mariners and Tigers are on FS1. Time to be determined. Game 3, Blue Jays Yankees game. Time to be determined. And the Dodgers play again on Wednesday at time to be determined. Dodger Stadium. I would guess either 6:40 or 7:05. One of those two traditional Dodger starts. I like our chances. Now that we have a closer, Roki Sasaki. I think that changes the whole thing. I there's no confidence in any of those guys in left field. They're a bunch of pyrotechnics and pyromaniacs, Pyrotechnics are fire guys that set up fireworks. Well, that's the same thing, really. They set up fireworks every time they come in. But and I think you can use Taylor Glasnow, and I think you can use deeper into the series because I don't see them pitching. You see them pitching Shohei twice?
If you need to, if he has a great game 1, I don't see why you wouldn't use him in game 4 or 5.
As a reliever, maybe. But as a starter, you'd start him game 5 on what? Probably 4 or 5 days rest?
You know what? No, because Blake Snell looks so dang good. He'd probably actually be your best in the 5 hole or in the 5 game. But
so where are we? We're at the end of the rotation?
Technically, but it depends if you go.
Who closed it out? YY
closed it out for you.
Okay, so we'll start again with it'll be Ohtani. Game 2 would be Snell.
If you
game 3 would
pitch,
be, and game 3 would be Yoshinobu.
Yeah, if it's a 3-pitcher rotation, absolutely. But if you throw Glasnow into that rotation and make it a 4-man, you might be waiting an extra day.
And start what? So go.
I'll probably go
Ohtani, Glasnow.
Shohei, Glasnow.
And give Blake and Yamamoto an extra day. Yeah, that sounds.
And then end with Shohei again.
It all depends on what happens in game 1. You got to win game 1.
Yeah.
You got to win game 1, especially in a 5-game series. You got to put pressure on these guys. You don't want to, if we can come home with 2 home games with 1-1, I really like our chances.
I just can't wait to see some Schwarbombs in October.
Yeah. We'll see. Guy hitting 240. He's either going to hit it out of the Citizens.
1 out of 4? I'll take it, baby. Let's go.
He's.
You tried to shortchange him the other day, too, by saying 2.5 out of 10. You didn't think I caught that. But that's 1 out of 4, sir.
He's. Okay. All right. As I mentioned, Sean Combs got 50 months in prison. The prosecution wanted 11 years. Defense wanted 14 months. Probation said the guidelines are 5 to 7 years, so the judge went right along with that. They're gonna absolutely appeal this thing. And from what I understand, listening to the reporters, this was a crap show, and I cleaned that up. That it took all day. And these things don't take all day. Diddy literally begged for leniency. They ran a film of Combs in the community and with his children and doting on his grandmother. And every reporter that reported on it said it was unprecedented and didn't think it did him any good because it ignores. At no point did he apologize. And then when the judge pointed out that he didn't apologize, apparently he came back and said, oh, no, I'm very sorry for everything I said. But in his original statement, where he literally begged, I'm begging, Your Honor, for leniency. Oh, I bet you are. I bet you are. Just the way Cassie was begging for you not to drag her back into that hotel room or to put your hands on her again. He's getting 4 years for 2 counts of prostitution-related crimes. Bradley Perez, locally, stuck a knife in a man's neck, and he's doing 2 more years than Combs is doing for prostitution-related events. There's just something wrong with our justice system in America. Something extremely right about our next guest. Rick Bailey is here.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of its plan to end the nearly 2-year war and return all the remaining hostages taken in the October 7th attack. Hamas said Friday it was willing to release the hostages and hand over power to other Palestinians, but that other aspects of the plan require further consultations among Palestinians. Hopes for a quick end to the government shutdown are fading. Democrats have refused to budge in a Senate vote.
Hey, I'm sorry
President Trump is readying plans to unleash layoffs and cuts across the federal government. On the third day of the shutdown, another Senate vote to advance a Republican bill that would reopen the government failed. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 238 points. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. One person has died after an assault on White Lane. Bakersfield police say that just after 10 o'clock Thursday morning, an officer witnessed a victim being attacked while in the 100 block of White Lane. The officer gave aid to the victim. Emergency medical was called, but the victim did not survive. The alleged attacker is in custody. Anyone who knows anything about what led to the attack is asked to call Bakersfield police. There were delays on Interstate 5 in Gorman Heights this morning after a motorcycle crash. CHP says it happened just after 10:45 a.m. on northbound I-5 at Gorman School Road. Officers say there were 2 motorcycles involved. One of the riders was hurt. The medical helicopter was called in. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-3143. 800-291-3143. Again, that's 800-291-3143.
Don't miss Megyn Kelly live on stage with special guests Charlie Sheen and Victor Davis Hanson, November 20th at Dignity Health Arena. Get tickets now at MegynKelly.com. Presented by Y Refi and Sirius XM.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll see if we've survived the government shutdown for another weekend. We will talk to Marco from America's Job Center Occurrence. That's all I need after a 49er win. We'll talk about Brunch Fest coming up and state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Want to feel good. It's a Friday. You know what that means. Rick Bentley live in studio. How always good to see you.
Always good to be here, especially when I'm told where to be.
Yeah, we apologize about that.
That's
Little
okay.
mix-up in our
It's okay.
schedule.
I cried a couple of days, but I'm okay.
All right,
I got
very
past it.
good, Very good. Very good.
Well, let's start with the very important thing.
Yes.
Because we're going to have, don't
Oh,
start
wait,
the music.
okay.
We got
gotta
to
say the name
clarify
first.
something before we get
Oh,
going.
that's right. That's right.
You needed a name for the character.
Yes. I
Okay.
cannot go by Karnak the Magnificent.
Yes,
I will not
but-
do it.
What are the call letters to the station?
KERN.
So you could be Kernak.
How
How about that? Come on.
I like it.
It's
I like it.
perfect. Kernak.
Karnak the Magnificent.
See?
I like it. I like it.
It blends the bit and the station.
It does.
That's perfect.
It does. That's perfect branding.
Yeah.
Should have got into marketing.
I
You
should have
missed
been
your
on
yes.
Madison Avenue. I could have
Absolutely.
been Jack Ham.
You could have been
Don
Don
Ham.
Draper.
Yeah, that's right.
That could have been you.
Son, I don't smoke.
Well, then
You couldn't
forget
run the
about
show
it.
without puffing
No,
like a
especially in the 60s.
dragon.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
It was a weird time, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a weird time when you could smoke anywhere you want to and say anything you wanted to women. And,
Oh, God, I remember when I first got into radio
oh,
and the guy that preceded me smoked like a chimney
oh God.
and would leave the ashtray right there. And
I
it
can't
just,
stand the smell.
I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he flew. I remember
Oh, I
flying as
know.
a child
And
and people would be smoking as soon as we got to 35,000 feet.
and then they created a non-smoking area in
Yeah.
the plane. Literally,
Yeah.
there's an invisible barrier now. That's
So you
or look at some old footage
Restaurants.
of people being in movie theaters.
Mhm.
I mean, it looked like London
Yeah.
with so much smoke over them. So,
Restaurants, guys with
Oh, yeah.
cigars.
but there were smoking sections.
Yeah. Which is
And
crazy.
that smoke wouldn't come over. So
Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
we digress. Now
We
now
do.
that- Now that we have a name for the character.
That mysterious man from the east, Karnak the Magnificent. I love that.
I love to.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I have in my hand
Yes.
questions that have been sitting on. Oh, let's just go. Let's
All
just
right,
do
yes.
it. We've done that bit. so many
Uncle
times.
Wagnall's porch
Or
since
yeah,
noon
yeah, blah, blah,
yesterday.
blah, blah. No,
But me,
they've literally been in my computer since noon today,
That's
and
right.
then I printed them out and cut them up. So
but me in my sometimes mysterious way will somehow discern the answer without even knowing.
without even knowing.
That's right.
So here is question number.
Question number 1. Crabgrass.
Crabgrass.
That's what I said. Crabgrass. What do crabs use to get high? Crabgrass. All right, very good.
It's sometimes you have to think about
I
it. You know,
did
you
take me a
take a
minute
moment,
there, yes.
mull it over.
Crabgrass. All right, very good.
Question
Number 2. Rub a dub dub.
Rub a dub dub.
Rub a dub dub. What does a masseuse do to your dub dub? I'm sorry, I ruined the bit by laughing. I didn't even get the joke out. I started laughing. What does a masseuse do to your dub dub? They rub a dub dub.
I feel like if I've gotten you to laugh at least one of them, this
That was
bit
good.
worked.
Oh, that was a double up against,
So
against the
we're
wall.
good. Okay, number 3.
Took me a while to
It's
discern.
another thinking
I
one.
had to, yes, I
Yeah.
had to deep think.
Yeah.
3.14 plus rodents.
3.14 plus rodents.
Yes. Why do I think there's going to be a recounters involved in this? What are pie rats?
Your pi being
I saw that coming.
3.14.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that
you saw
coming.
that.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's not bad to be obvious.
That's
I
right,
think
that's
some
right,
of
that's
the
right.
listeners out there going, I know that one. I discerned that
And you
one.
still took it a different direction though with High Rats.
High Rats,
Yes.
right. All right. Number 4.
Question number 4. Poppycock.
Poppycock.
Oh, I'm afraid to open this one. I'll tell you that, boy. Poppycock. What does a chick call his rooster dad? Poppycock.
Poppycock.
That one took me a minute.
Again,
But, okay, I got it.
It's
now.
not bad to make our listeners.
That's right.
think.
That's right.
You know, mull them over. Maybe over dinner tonight to go, oh, poppycock. I get it.
It's that old comedian statement. When you're driving home, you're going to get these jokes and laugh.
And laugh
Yeah,
and laugh. Yeah. And finally, number 5.
The final question. Chris is in there asleep.
I know.
He doesn't even.
Well, he was drunk when I came in, so he's bound to
So
be
he's
sleeping
doing
right now.
better.
Yeah.
A little applause for the final. All right. We need to rehearse a little more on this bit.
Just a little late.
Viagra and Disneyland.
Viagra and Disneyland.
That is right. This ought to be rich. Viagra, if I can get it out of here, and Disneyland. Yes. Name 2 things that make you wait 1 hour to have 2 minutes of fun. Rick Bentley and the great Kernak.
Be sure to
the
tip your waitress.
Magnificent. Yes.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
There we go.
The dub was the highlight.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought Disneyland would get you, but okay, I'll go with
No,
that.
dub was pretty good. What is it?
We now know your humor level.
Yes,
So
it's very elementary.
well,
Very,
very
elementary.
dad joke.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the city of Hollywood?
Well, I saw a movie,
Yes.
which is not a surprise. I do that a lot.
Yeah, you
I-
get a
I-
check too, from what I hear.
We'll see. I saw the Smashing Machine, the new Dwayne Johnson movie.
Yeah,
It's not a smash.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. Do you know?
I've never been a fan.
You know,
He's a nice guy, and he was good on that. Was it an HBO special series, Chris?
Ballers,
Where-
you're talking about?
Yes,
I believe it started on HBO. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed him
it
on
was.
Ballers.
Ballers. Yes.
But other than that, the Kevin Hart movies and thing, and you know what else? And I know this is weird. And you're going to say you have no taste, Ralph. I enjoyed San Andreas. I don't know why. It was a clearly
Okay.
bad film,
I will give you this.
but I enjoyed it.
As long as The Rock stays in his lane, and San Andreas is one of those films.
Yep,
It doesn't require any acting. It
Mhm.
just requires him to
Him
keep the
action.
action
that's
moving.
right. That's right.
He's fine in that. I have no
Exactly.
problem with it. But here we have a movie where it's obvious it was a project that he said, it's a vanity project. I'll do this. I'll do your Fast and Furious 208 or whatever it is
Right.
if I can do this movie.
Yeah.
And it's obviously being pushed that he's going to get award nominations and all that sort of stuff.
Really?
If he does it, it'll show how weak the award systems is. It's a story of Mike Kerr, who is was an MMA fighter. Do you know?
No. Chris?
Brian Kerr?
Brian or Mike?
Mike.
Mike
No,
Kerr?
wait.
He's Mike Kerr, I think. Actually, he's right.
You know him?
I know of him a little bit. The story
Hold on,
is just he's one of the first UFC guys who really didn't pan out because of drug abuse and a lot of other stuff. There was a
Mark.
docu-series of.
Mark.
Is he killing the movie?
No.
I mean, again-
is that what it's about?
I have no headphones, so
Oh,
I don't know
that's
what
right.
you're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about.
No,
Yeah.
we were discussing it before he came on,
Yeah.
so it's the same thing
No,
I
it's
told
Mark
him.
Kerr. I'm
earlier.
sorry,
But yeah,
I
Mark Kerr.
misspoke. Yeah.
Mark Kerr,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, basically he was college All-American in wrestling, went into MMA and extreme fighting, got hooked on drugs, and that's his story. It was played out remarkably well in a 2002 HBO documentary that really sort of showed him and what he went through with all the painkillers and everything. So the director of this film got the rights to do that documentary, but in a fictionalized sort of way. So
Yeah.
based on. And so the problem I have with it is he had the opportunity when you go into a based on story that you can expand things we don't normally have. For example, in a documentary, if a husband and wife have a fight at home, we don't have that recording. Nobody's going to videotape that. So in this case, you have a place you can fill out those moments and give your film a lot more depth.
Right.
Well, and then give you a great example. Kerr goes into rehab finally. He overdoses.
Bottoms out.
He bottoms out. agrees to go to rehab. So we see him going into the rehab center, carrying his little bag behind him and everything, you know, the dramatic music's playing. And then we see him coming out of rehab. Dramatic. It's like, well, wouldn't the scenes in the rehab, just him, you know, bearing his soul about what this all did to him, been the dramatic moments? But no, then we see him and his girlfriend, who would become his wife, go to a carnival. And then they sort of put out that he's afraid of fast spinning rides, but a ride or merry. It was just all over the board, and places where the director could, and the director is the writer also, Benny Safdie, places where he could have expanded and given us more character, more texture. He just avoids it, but then he spends forever. Even the fights. MMA and extreme fighting is probably the most brutal sport on the planet.
No question.
No,
I can't watch it.
And in that time, I mean, back then, before they put in a lot of rules, it was even more brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have literally had these just intense fight sequences, 2 or 3 punches, and it's over.
Wow.
And if Rocky never showed us anything, it showed us that fight sequences, if choreographed right, with the right music, the right editing, can be just memorable.
Yeah.
These aren't. And so that's the movie. The story is an interesting story. But we were talking beforehand about this is an athlete. It's not like we're doing the story of Kurt Warner, okay, or we're doing the story of Jackie Robinson. People go, I may not know his full story, but I've heard of him.
Right.
This is a guy that, unless you're into mixed martial arts and all that extreme fighting, you probably don't know the name.
Never heard of it.
So it's not good. There's not that draw. Oh, we need to hear that story. And then if you don't present it well, it just doesn't work. And Emily Blunt plays his wife. I'm a big Emily Blunt fan, and she's wasted in this.
Really?
Just what? Yeah, has these sort of arguments with her, with the Kerr character, that you really feel like they're reading the lines. There's no passion to it, no emotion to it. And these two should have worked well together. They did a movie together not that long ago. They did the film version of the Disney ride Jungle Book. So they've worked together before, so they should have had some chemistry. But the Kerr character is so unlikable from the very beginning, but we don't get any preview of, well, why is that just his drug problem that he's having? Or is he just that kind of guy? Is he just a jerk in real life? We get none of that. It's just sort of we fall into it. And so the structure is so wrong. And I just, I had great hopes of this because I heard a lot of buzz about this was going to be one of those, keep it in mind for the Oscars. And yeah, I'll keep it in mind of not nominating it.
Yeah, and you bring in Emily Blunt, that brings some seriousness to it.
Oh, she is.
Credibility.
She is. I mean,
and they waste her.
Let's go back to Oppenheimer. She was a key. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And her career, if you go back looking over her career, she's done some great stuff. She's one of those actresses I know the project's going to be a little bit better because of her. Well, she didn't bring anything to this. And I'm going to blame the director on this one.
Wow.
Because he just because he's also the writer, he gave her nothing to do, nothing to say.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect much from Rock. I really.
Yeah. Every once in a while, these actors who, look, what's wrong with making billions of dollars as an action hero?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. If you could cry your way to the bank if you don't have an Oscar. Okay.
That's what I swear that was what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That these guys go to these events and they're sitting in the auditorium and they think, God, I could be up there one day.
Yeah.
I could be up there one day. And then you think of all the really great actors who never got up there.
Never got
Cary
up there.
Grant.
Yeah.
Never. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
Not as an
directing,
actor.
right,
Not
as
as
a
an
director,
actor.
right.
Never got up there. Paul Newman, they gave him one for Color of Money.
Yeah, that was
which
sort
is
of
just like, oh my God, we haven't
makeup
given
call,
Newman
right.
one. Yeah, because I mean HUD, and I thought for sure he was going to win with The Verdict. That's one of my favorite trial movies ever.
That's one of the great performances ever.
It really is.
I don't care what it's setting.
Yeah.
The setting is.
Because it was bizarre for me, having grown up with Paul Newman as the head of the Sting and Butch Cassidy, and now he's a lousy, fallen down ambulance chasing drunk.
Yeah.
But
he was so believable.
So believable. It's a great picture.
Which again shows shows his talent.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion before. It was like seeing Redford do 3 Days of the Condor.
Yeah.
We kind of sort of felt like he was a great romantic comedy lead type thing.
Mhm.
He does this, and you go, "Whoa, wait a minute!"
Yeah.
And then he, follows up.
You think he's MacGyver all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's how I saw him
Yeah.
in that film.
Or then you see him later in All the President's Men, and you
Mhm.
realize, oh, that's a great performance, because
Yeah.
when we know the ending of a movie, we shouldn't be that intrigued, but we were because
Yeah.
of the performance.
They didn't have a Robert Redford night, but they did play my favorite Redford movie. I saw Barefoot in the Park last week.
That's just such a.
It's just such a delightful. The music, and
it's Neil
and I forgot
Simon.
about the ending. I completely forgot about the ending. I mean, I knew the ending.
Yeah.
That he gets drunk and he walks barefoot in the park.
Right.
But I don't know why, but I forgot about the scene on the roof.
Oh.
Which scares the crap out of me because I am afraid of heights.
Oh.
And when he's up on that roof and then she goes, "Oh, look, they got back together."
Yeah.
That is just a great, that is the Bailey movie.
Yeah. Well,
They get right back together right before the credits roll.
yeah. Better than The Way We Were, right? Because you don't like that.
That's tragic. That's just tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Oh, well, we're getting ready for finally with October being here, we're seeing a lot of the network TV shows coming back.
Yeah.
And we'll see what that, I think since I wasn't here, we had the Jimmy Kimmel situation.
We've not spoken of that?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, I hate when, and this fits you and me. I mean, when freedom of speech is stomped on, it's scary. It terrifies me. I may not agree. You have guests on. I don't agree with what they're saying, but I will fight to my death their right to say it.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe with Kimmel. I don't care if you like him or not. That's not beside the point. We should all stand up and say he has the right to do that. Now, if his ratings are bad and he's not, and late night TV is dying. We know that just because it doesn't serve the purpose it used to serve back when we only had networks, where your TV was left on at night on a station, and so the next morning you come right back to it.
You went from Johnny Carson to the Today Show.
To the Today Show, or whatever the situation was then. But I think anytime we have this sort of blatant, efforts to silence, I'm the other way. I think we need more voices out there. I think we need thousands of voices expressing their opinion, and we all listen to them. And we can disagree with what people say, but we don't have to be militant about it.
Right.
And that's what, and this was sort of a military action. It was like, it was crash and burn, get him off the air. So, but it's damaged Disney big time. They have yet to recover from all the Disney Plus cancellations. The Hulu, of course, Hulu's going away, but
Yeah.
But,
is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, Disney owns Hulu, Disney Plus.
Mhm.
Disney owns it, so they're phasing out Hulu. They'll keep it sort of. Hulu won't exist, but that sort of service will be for their projects that are not their produced.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, after 20 years of Hulu, Hulu won't exist
Yeah.
anymore.
I have to disagree with you. I don't.
That's okay.
I didn't think it was a First Amendment issue. I thought that, particularly given what he said when he returned, that's what bothered me.
Look at the words again that he said.
He said essentially that MAG was doing the best they could to say that the shooter was not one of them.
And they were.
He was not, though.
I know.
So he lied.
No, but MAGA was saying that he's not one of ours.
And he wasn't.
Right.
And so he was implying that he was. And then he came back. Okay, so I'll give him a pass on that because maybe the information at the time was foggy.
Right.
And we didn't know whether he was right or left or right. And did it really even matter?
Right.
But when he came back to where he didn't apologize, he said, I did not say that he was part of one group or another. And that's precisely what he did. That is exactly what he did.
That's what he
and
suggested.
He even went further and said that the right is trying to make political points out of it.
But here's the point. and again, back to the point I'm trying to make, whether what he said was right or wrong, okay, whatever your perspective is on that, he has the right to say it.
Of course he does, and Disney has the right to fire him for it.
But they didn't.
Who did? The FCC? Are you saying that Brandon Carr fired Jimmy Kimmel?
I'm saying there was so much pressure put on Disney by the FCC that they had to do what they did.
What evidence do you have of that?
What Carr said.
We can do it the easy way,
we
or
can do it the
way?
hard way. What does that mean to you? The easy way is for you to take care of it. The hard way is we'll come in and take care of it.
Well, then, he's
Because
back on
they
the air.
own-
He's
but-
back on the air.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, and he
So the
wouldn't-
FCC said, "All right, well, we'll give him a pass now that he's back on the air."
No, it wasn't that. It was look at the outpouring of people who came out and said, this is wrong. I mean, you had a massive outpouring of this, of people suggesting this was a wrong move. That's what changed everybody's opinion. It was public opinion against that decision that made Disney go, whoa, but maybe we shouldn't have done what we've done, despite the fact we could still be, could still be a retaliation. And they're still talking about the government taking over the TV networks.
Well, that's never going to happen, and I disagree with
Well,
that.
how do you say that's never going to? They own the licensing right. If the FCC decides that NBC or CBS or ABC, and I want to put out one little thing here, anytime that the government talks about networks that have done wrong, Fox is never mentioned. So that it's an obvious appreciation of that network over the others. But
Well, they did have to pay $800 million to a company for defaming them on television.
yeah, but still,
That's-
still right
I mean,
now.
that's when you get up almost to $1 billion, you're talking about some real money. So
Well, everybody's
they had to pay the price.
ABC's already paid once for them, and again, we get the comment after that. Well, they've already paid me once. Let's see if we can make it even more lucrative. Again, another threat.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the FCC.
Then why didn't anybody come out against Disney, Nexstar, and Sinclair? I didn't hear a word from any celebrities putting pressure on Bob Iger. Why are you kneeling down to Donald Trump and to Brandon Carr and the FCC? You know why? Because they need jobs from Bob Iger. They need jobs from Disney. They need jobs from Nexstar. They need jobs from Sinclair. So let's make Brandon Carr and Donald Trump the enemy, and not Iger and these guys for not fighting back.
Yeah, but the problem started not with Disney. It started with the government putting pressure on Disney. And again, those people, those celebrities who came out, in support of Kimmel, you don't think Bob Iger thinks, oh, they're on his side, they're not on mine? I mean, it's the same thing. They didn't blatantly say it, but by taking a stand with Kimmel, they're obviously taking a stand against what Disney did.
Yeah.
You can, that's just quid pro quo. You get that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm scared to death because the government has the licensing rights to those stations. If they want to say, you know what, they're done. You don't have a license to broadcast anymore. They're going to go off the air. What can they do?
I don't think that's a possibility. I really don't.
In this day and age, I'm not putting anything out of the impossibility range.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
just
too
think-
much happen. That I would have never thought a company would make it. If Disney had been smart, what they'd have done is what CBS did. The ratings are down. We've lost $40 million. We're going to give. We're taking Kimball off the air. He's been canceled. He's got 6 months or whatever, or 2 weeks or whatever. But when you walk in and say, I mean, the audience for the Kimball show that night
Was there?
was
He had
in
a show
the,
produced.
yeah,
ready to
it was
go.
ready to go.
Yeah.
And so that sort of is like taking a shotgun when I think they should have used a scalpel.
But wasn't that pressure from the affiliates who refused to air?
Oh,
Kimmel?
affiliates have no power. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah.
You really think that,
They
a
have
man
no
of your
power.
veteran television? You
Because-
don't think if the affiliates, if Nebraska, Indiana, Iowa calls Disney, the networks, and say, we're not running your show, they have no power?
And they say, you know what, Des Moines, your ABC affiliation is now going to WGB. Oh, they can move the affiliation. And those affiliates depend heavily on the money generated by commercials on those that's provided by the networks. No, they act like they have power, but they don't, because they are like drug addicts. They need that money coming in from the networks. So yeah, they can stand up and they can make their little noise and they can yell and scream blah, 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 all they want to, but at the end of the day, they're going to do exactly what they did. They got feedback from their viewers. They got people mad at them.
Their viewers.
And again, the public. It's the public who fixed all this. They are the ones that stood up and said this is wrong. It maybe canceling Kimball isn't wrong, but the decision, the way you did it, and having the government really, I mean, it literally is, take the cannoli, leave the gun. I mean, it was that really sort of threat type situation. All that was wrong. It should have been handled in a much calmer, much a way that wouldn't have hurt anybody.
Gotta fly. Have a wonderful weekend, sir.
I will.
Nicely done with the title. Rick Bentley, everybody. Kernak. That's magnificent. I love that.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Another vote to fund the government is held in the Senate, extending the shutdown. Correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
44 Democrats voted against a Republican bill that would have temporarily restored federal funding and reopened the government. The final tally was short of the 60 votes needed to end the filibuster and pass the legislation. While there have been some bipartisan discussion, there are few signs of any real progress toward ending the congressional standoff. Meanwhile, House Speaker Mike Johnson has canceled legislative business in his chamber next week in a move aimed at forcing the Senate to work with the House-approved government funding bill. Greg Clugston, Washington.
There's a new North Carolina law following the stabbing death of a Ukrainian woman.
North Carolina's Democratic Governor, Josh Stein, has signed into law a criminal justice measure pushed by the Republican-controlled legislature after a young Ukrainian woman was stabbed to death on a Charlotte train. The new law bars cashless bail for certain violent crimes and limits discretion in pretrial release decisions. The bill's authors are also seeking to restart executions in North Carolina. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
President Trump has ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of his plan to end the nearly 2-year war and return all the remaining hostages taken in the October 7th attack. Hamas said Friday it was willing to release the hostages and hand over power to other Palestinians, but that other aspects of the plan require further consultation among Palestinians. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 238 points, the Nasdaq dropped 63, with the S&P 500 index up a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones. And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. 5 men, including the suspect who escaped custody last month, have all been sentenced to life in prison on charges of involvement with gang-related shootings. They were found guilty on charges that include conspiracy to commit murder. All were members of the Colonia Baker Street gang. 3 were convicted in connection with a shooting that wounded 2 people on December 24th, 2021. All 5 were convicted in the shooting death of Mario Bravo at Mesa Marin Sports Complex on the night of September 20th, 2021. A man from Kern County could face 11 years in prison after being convicted of threatening his girlfriend's father with a knife and throwing a flashlight at him. Scotty Chambers was found guilty of felony criminal threats, assault, and brandishing a weapon. Court records show that Chambers has a serious prior felony conviction, making this a second strike case. It started with an argument between Chambers and his girlfriend outside her home in Oildale. Her father says he intervened when he saw Chambers push his daughter. Sentencing hearing for Chambers is set for November 12th. California has begun issuing redesigned driver's license with enhanced security features. The state rolled out the newly designed driver's licenses and ID cards with new security elements on Wednesday. The new design includes an added digital security signature to one of 2 barcodes on the back of the cards. California is one of the first states to implement this kind of digital security technology. Vandalism at Jewish grave sites reported inside the historic Union Cemetery. Dozens of headstones with the Star of David were found lying on the ground. Gravestones were in Hebrew and English, some over 100 years old. The community is being asked to help find the vandals. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm expecting you to leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday, 3rd day of October. Still lots to do. Coming up at the 5 o'clock hour, pair of our favorite legislators. Coming up at 5, we'll talk with Congressman Vince Vaughn. Day 3 of the shutdown that is going to linger into next week. The Senate once again tried to pass the continuing resolution, but the Democrats are holding on to the Obamacare subsidies that run out in January. I'm telling you, that's going to be taken care of. There is no way they're going to let those subsidies, those tax credits die in January. And they've got to make a decision in the next couple of weeks because, as most of you know who have employee-provided health insurance, yeah, your health insurance kicks in January, but open enrollment begins next month and maybe as late as the first week of December. But that's going to get done. I guarantee you that. We'll talk about that. And then Assemblyman, oops, did I say that, Assemblyman? I mean Supervisor David Couch, who, after Stan Ellis announced he's stepping aside, is running for Mr. Ellis's assembly seat. I let that slip out that he's going to win in a boat race. Believe me. Quick timeout. Oh, quick timeout. What am I talking about? It's 4 o'clock on a Friday. Time to check in with the finest handicapper in the land and the only regular on the broadcast who has a different theme song every week, Brandon Lang.
You wanted the Mariano Rivera treatment today.
Is that right? Is that what that is? What's really going on, my brother?
Well, you know, we last night handicapping the board. I'm like looking at that Rams Niners game.
Weird game.
To myself, I'm like, the whole world is, and this is what's so messed up about the NFL. And you know me, I'm transparent. When I lose, I lose. I win, I win.
Right.
You know, people say, well, don't talk about the losses. You know, all those handicappers out here, they talk about, I went 21-1. No, I talk about the losses just like I talk about the wins. And last night I had New Mexico State plus 2.5 at home over at Sam Houston State. They won 37-10. I couldn't for the life of me understand why, you know, New Mexico State was an underdog at home. I kept looking at the game. Sam Houston State was 0-4 on the year, straight up against the spread. I'm like, I want to bet everything I own on this game. But having done this for over 30 years, why is Vegas making Sam Houston State the favorite? You know, Tony Sanchez, the coach of New Mexico State, go back to Bishop Gorman, where he won 1,000 state championships. Then he took the head job at UNLV, didn't go well, and then he ended up in New Mexico State. The guy can coach his butt off, and I'm like going, New Mexico State's 2-2. They play well at home. How is a team that's 0-4 laying 2.5? And the only thing that stopped me from putting $100,000 on it, and I say this on my daughter's life, was, what am I missing? Why would Vegas make an 0-4 team a 2.5-point favorite? They got to know something.
Yeah.
I still use New Mexico State, and I'm sitting there watching the game going, they miss these MIT geniuses every once in a while, still miss it, and they did last night. And so I stayed away from the Rams in the Niners game, and I watched the Rams take the opening kickoff, go right to them, score 7-0, and I go, oh my God, this is going to be a game. I mean, this is the thing about the NFL. The entire betting world bet the Rams last night. You had 11% bets on the Niners. Wow. 89% of the money was on the Rams. And when you watch that game, even though 6 starters were out on defense for the Niners, offensive weapons gone, this guy gone, that guy gone. At the end of the day, this is what you have to be careful about in the NFL. The Rams went to Philly, played an emotional, gut-wrenching game, had the wind snatched from their heart.
Should have won it.
Came back home, had the game against the Colts and went right down to the wire, and they had no right covering that game. The idiot fumbles the touchdown in the end zone, and a holding penalty on touchdown run, and then the Rams get a 90-something yard touchdown pass for the cover. And so after those 2 emotional games, they just couldn't get up 3 games in a row. And what people don't realize about the NFL is that it's a grind, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to get up 3 weeks in a row when you have these emotional games. So the reason why I went with Sandman is to be a closer, you got to know when not to throw that curveball with the Rams and the Niners and stay away and go to college football and get yourself a winner. So I'm 11-5 in college football this year.
Nice.
I was 0-8 in the NFL going into last weekend. Now,
wow.
Let me preface it by saying, Lang sucks. He's 0-8. He's the worst handicapper in the world. Dallas Philly over 48 week 1. He had 41 points at the half and had a weather delay.
I remember that.
3 points in the second half.
That.
Talk about a gut-wrenching bad beat. Then Ravens 40-25 with 4:28 to go in the game. They blow it. That's number 2. Look at the Rams in Philly. That's number 3. And so all of a sudden you start to, and then listen, if you look at the Texans in Tampa Bay, look at Baker throwing the pick at the end zone against the Eagles at the end of the game on 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line.
Yeah.
Did he do that against the Texans when the Texans were up and had a 4th and 10 inside 2 minutes and the blitzer comes and he's got Baker dead to rights? And if he just comes in and slows down and makes the play, the game's over. But instead he comes in out of control. Baker jukes him a little bit. They go down and score. So the 0-8 all of a sudden looks 4-4.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden you get Seattle over Arizona on Thursday night, the Chiefs over the Ravens on Sunday, the Broncos on Monday night, and now you got a little Mariano Rivera mojo going, 6 or 7 winning days. Here we go. We're building a little bit. So that's transparency right there. So I had the Mexico State game was 37-10 final as a 2.5-point dog, and they were up the whole game. So to be able to click over and watch the end of that madness. And can you and I agree on something here?
Yeah.
Can you and I agree
What do you got?
that Sean McVay may be the most overrated coach in the NFL?
That dive call at the end of the game was the worst call I've ever seen. Worst call I've ever seen.
So, brother, he gets praised for being this ungodly play caller, first of all.
Would you have kicked it? Would you have kicked the field goal?
Well, let's go back to last week.
Okay.
You never would have been in that situation when that kicker had one blocked, and then he had another one blocked.
Yeah.
If you're the Dallas Cowboy kicker and you're kicking a 44-yard, you ever watch that guy?
Yeah.
That ball's 90 yards above the arms at the line of scrimmage on a 45-yarder.
Yeah.
He elevates that ball so high, it's never going to get blocked.
Yeah.
So if you're a kicker in the NFL and you're having kicks that are analyzed on film with your special teams people that come in low, you just cost us a game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
You just had 2 blocks. You're gone. See you later. Let's get some new guys in here. No. The warden gives them a reprieve. The governor gives them a stay of execution. And what's he do? Misses an extra point. And because of that, they end up losing the game. How guys have jobs in the NFL is beyond me. Sean McVay is an atrocious play caller. And to see him squirm up there and say exactly what he always says when he blows it, which is, we're going to get this fixed. We're going to see the resiliency of our ball club. We're going to see how we respond. Sean, quit saying we. There's no we, Sean.
Yeah.
There's you. How are you going to coach better, Sean? So to dodge that, if I had the Rams last night, money line, Rams in a teaser, or whatever, to lose that game is unbelievable.
Yeah, unthinkable. I almost didn't watch it because I just thought it was going to be a rout.
Everybody did.
No Kittle, no Ricky, no nothing. The only thing they had was McCaffrey. It's the only thing they had.
And if Joe Burrow doesn't pull off the upset and beat Patrick Mahomes in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl, McVay never wins a Super Bowl because the Chiefs would have boat raced the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All
you
right.
Rams, man. Can they cut Geno? Colorblind. Brother colorblind. Geno need to go see the optometrist. Brother can't stop on the wrong team.
Same old Raiders.
What are you going to do, man? Let me ask you this.
I mean, only the Raiders could get a field goal blocked by the outside guy. By the outside guy diving for the kick. Only the
It never
Raiders.
happened.
I don't think I've ever seen that. The outside guy getting there?
Yep. That's almost virtually impossible.
That's what I thought.
With that being said,
Yeah.
I would play your Raiders this week.
Really?
The visiting team is 6-0 against the spread in this series.
Yeah.
And the Raiders are 5-0 against the spread the next game after hosting an NFC team. This game kind of reminds me of the Rams-Niners last night, which means what an emotional, gut-wrenching loss by the Colts.
Yeah.
Adonai Mitchell, you know me. Player stupidity is unbelievable in the NFL.
It really is.
Look at me, man. I'm gonna stick the ball out before I get the goal. I put on my Instagram, my TikTok. Here it comes. I got my man Leon's in the end zone. Leon, you got me? I'm gonna let the ball out right now. Leon, get that from my TikTok. Make sure you post that right now.
And then the hold call.
And it's unbelievable. And so now they got to come back home, laying close to a touchdown against a desperate team. It's a flat spot, and as much as you think these guys' job, it's week to week. I just got to think the Colts are a little flat, and I wouldn't trust Danny Dimes laying close to a touchdown against a Pete Carroll coach team on the road.
You know, I thought it was the dumper, but I think now he's got the best nickname in sports, Daniel Indiana Jones. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry. I love that. But anyway,
it's good.
Yeah. What else you got?
I'm gonna take the Jags on Monday night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's the line?
They're getting 3.5 at home.
Wow. And you like the Jags. That is a big one.
I'm going to give you a
I
little.
gotta write that down.
I'm going to give you a little stat.
Okay.
The Kansas City Chiefs, historically speaking, the last 11 games after facing the Baltimore Ravens are 1-10 against the spread.
I do like that.
Think about that.
Okay.
Drains them, a little bit out of him.
Yeah.
And to see Jacksonville beat the Niners, Jacksonville probably should have beat the Colts, if not for the leverage penalty.
Yeah.
That's a feisty home dog. I could see KC win that game by a field goal. I'm going to take Jacksonville plus 3.5. Keep an eye. Ready?
Yes, I got you.
Denver plus 3.5 over the Eagles.
Ooh, another upset.
Here you go. Here you go.
Holy kingfish.
The entire world sees a 4-0 Philadelphia Super Bowl championship team. I counter with a team that is 4-0 but has been outgained in all 4 games. Let me go one step further.
Okay.
Dallas and CeeDee Lamb saw to it with his moronic actions in the fourth quarter, see to it that Dallas didn't beat them. Then you turn around and watch the Eagles play the very next week, and people just keep anointing this team like they're the second coming. And I say, listen to me, they shouldn't have won that game.
No.
And the game I'm talking about, as I look it up online, because I can't remember, because I'm a little brain dead right now, long day. Let's go to week 2 of the Eagles. They should have got beat. It wasn't the Ram game. It was the.
Are you talking about the blocked field goal game?
No. So week 2 they played KC. Kelsey dropped the touchdown.
Oh, that's right.
In the end zone.
Yep,
the
sure did.
2-yard line bounces off his hands. They return to go on and score. 14-point swing.
Yep.
Rams block field goal, and then Baker has them 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. $1:29 to go. 31-25 game. It's there. The win is there. You're home free. You got the win. So in a blink of an eye, this Philly team could be 0-4. And what would the narrative be if they were 0-4? Oh my God, the world of Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, the whole world's going to die. The world's coming to an end.
Soriano's got to go.
Jesus is coming.
Yep.
Jesus is coming. The trumpet sounded. Everybody's going to heaven. Here we go. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. Let's make sure you and I are together, and we're ready to roll. So I'm going to take Denver plus the 3.5. The Eagles. After the last 10 times the Eagles have faced Tampa Bay, 0-10.
Really?
The spread.
Wow.
No, I'm lying. I'm just making this stuff up. My wife just walked in and said, honey, throw out that 0-10 said. I just made it up. I heard it on the radio from Megan Keller. She said 0-10. I'm going to throw it out to my man. Throw it out to my man in Vegas. 0-10.
0-10. Wow.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
That's your second little slippy dog. And last but not least, the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I like this
on
game.
the road.
I like this game a lot.
On the road, coming off a straight up and against the spread loss, are 2-16-1 against the spread since 1991.
Wow.
Let me give it to you and your listeners again. As favorites on the road, coming off a straight up and against the spread loss, they're 2-16-1 against the spread. They may win, but I wouldn't trust Carson Wentz laying 3.5 any day of the week, especially against a good defense. Give me Cleveland plus 3.5. I'm not saying Dylan Gabriel's the answer, but he ain't going to throw 949 turnovers like Joe Flacco will be, who still should be sitting on his couch raising his 4 kids.
Yeah.
So there you go in the NFL. College football quickly. Let's roll because I know you got to go.
Yeah.
Florida State plus the points over Miami. Florida State has the number 1 offense in college football. They have the most number 1 total yardage offense in college football. They're getting 4.5 at home. And watching Bama beat the doors off Georgia last week, 24-21, and knowing Florida State beat the doors off Alabama by double digits in week 1, I think Miami and Carson Beck are in for a rude awakening. I will roll the dice with Florida State plus the points. Vanderbilt plus 10.5 over Bama. My wife think will be happy about this because she's roll tide, running around here, roll tide. I'm tired of here, roll tide. I think Tide's laundry detergent. But be that as it may, I'm going to take Vandy plus 10.5 over Alabama. And last but not least, Washington imploded at home against Ohio State last week. They now go on the road to Maryland, who's coming off a bye week. Washington lost every road game in the Big Ten last year, and they're laying close to 7. Keep an eye on the Terrapins plus the points outright.
Nice. Nice.
There you go, my brother.
I leave you with this. Dodgers, Phillies. Who you got?
Dodgers.
Thank you.
Dodgers.
Thank you.
Dodgers.
Thank you.
That offense is too good.
Nice.
It's okay.
Cloudy's going to pitch game 1, win game 1.
Yeah.
By the way, I think the Brewers are minus 120 in the series over the Cubs. Get yourself a little piece of that pie. They're going to get the job done too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Chris likes the Cubs as well, but I like the Brewers. I like the Brewers.
Chris, don't do it, Chris.
I'm trying. Okay, I got a soft spot for the Cubbies.
Okay, well, you make sure you cuddle up that teddy bear tonight when you get
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about? You guys could go over there and sleep on my fills. Don't worry about it.
Okay, there you go, dog.
All right, Bob. Love you, man. Talk to you next week. All right, we'll see you. Brandon Lang, everybody. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show. Buck will be back. Tons of stories to tell from there, I would well imagine. The ongoing shutdown, is there any light at the end of the tunnel, or will it continue on for weeks? We'll break it all down for you. Make sure you don't miss it for a great weekend. Clay and Buck, come hang.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hey, everybody. It's Dan again. Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. You know, it's time again for Subaru Loves Pet Month. For the past few years, Sangera Subaru has supported the Bakersfield SPCA's efforts to increase adoption during the month of October. Last year, the Bakersfield SPCA had a total of 73 cats and dogs, all adopted. This year's goal, 100 animals adopted. Plus, Wednesday, October 22nd, Subaru celebrates their 7th annual National Make a Dog's Day. We invite all dog enthusiasts to do something special for their furry friends, or maybe consider either adopting or fostering a dog. In addition, the SPCA holding a low-cost microchip and vaccination clinic Saturday, October 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. $20 each for a microchip or vaccine. Now is a great time to adopt a pet from the Bakersfield SPCA. Join Sangera Subaru in supporting this worthwhile cause during the Subaru Loves Pet Month. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Networks. Are you a business owner who feel that your IT company just treats you just like another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive Networks, exceptional customer service isn't just a promise. It's how they do business every single day. And when you call, you're actually talking to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. No phone trees, no runaround, no attitude. From the moment you become a client, you'll experience the difference that comes from working with a company that puts customer service first. And no one knows that better than the folks here at American General Media, because we've teamed up with Adaptive Networks. Ready to experience IT support the way it should be? Call Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or visit adaptive-net.com today. Adaptive Networks, where great technology meets even greater customer service.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Marilyn Bull.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Bull. I heard of Paul Sheldon through my husband. So when I retired, I decided I'm going to go to him too. And I'm very pleased. The experience with Paul Sheldon has been great. Every question you asked, he had an answer for. He was patient and explained everything to where you could understand it. So I'm glad I had him to go to, because otherwise I would be confused. I would recommend Paul Sheldon to anybody, because it is so much easier to go there and have someone actually show you and explain to you what your options are. And when you leave there, if you still didn't quite understand, you can always call and even make an appointment with you and rediscuss the whole thing. I also have recommended it to my sister. Thank you, Paul Sheldon.
I just heard a horn behind me, so I was wondering who it was, and it's Romeo.
Medicare matters. Our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
But each step makes my love stronger than before. I know flowers grow to rain, but how can love go to vain?
Ain't that peculiar? I only have one problem with Brandon's picks. I think Minnesota is going to destroy Cleveland. And I don't know if that's my bitterness over the way they're treating Shedeur Sanders.
Same.
Although,
how do you feel about this
he's
whole
bringing
pantomiming thing?
You can't do that as a quarterback.
Yeah, but what was he supposed to say?
he should have just said no comment, or he should have just said, I like Dylan. I'm rooting for him.
True.
He could have even said, I think I should be second string.
True.
I think that's how it works when somebody gets demoted. I didn't know that when you're the starter and you get demoted, you're suddenly the backup. So what are you saying? That he's not good enough to play, but if Dylan gets hurt, he's good enough to play, and I'm still not? But we're talking about Shedeur Sanders, who, when asked about still being third because Joe Flacco's been demoted to second, he pantomimed an answer. In other words, he just mouthed an answer without saying anything, which just brings stupid attention to yourself. And you're already a kind of a controversial figure. And, it was Colin Cowherd who said this. I'm not the first, but wide receivers can act silly. Dwayne Thomas, who played for the Dallas Cowboys the year they won the Super Bowl, I think in 1971 or 72, literally did not speak to his teammates the whole year. Literally. Go Google Dwayne Thomas, number 33 for the Dallas Cowboys. Didn't speak to his. You can be a crazy running back. You can be a crazy wide receiver. You want your linebackers to be crazy, but your quarterback has to be the guy. Quick timeout. Last half hour of the four. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Hopes for a quick end to the government shutdown are fading. Democrats have refused to budge in a Senate vote. President Trump is readying plans to unleash layoffs and cuts across the federal government. On the third day of the shutdown, another Senate vote to advance a Republican bill that would reopen the government failed on a 54-44 tally. That's well short of the 60 needed to end a filibuster and pass the legislation. President Trump on Friday ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of his plan to end the nearly 2-year war and return all the remaining hostages taken in the October 7th attack. Hamas said it was willing to release the hostages and hand over power to other Palestinians. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. 5 men, including the suspect who escaped custody last month, have all been sentenced to life in prison on charges of involvement with gang-related shootings. They were found guilty on charges that include conspiracy to commit murder. All were members of the Colonia Baker Street gang. 3 were convicted in connection with a shooting that wounded 2 people on December 24th, 2021. All 5 were convicted in the shooting death of Mario Bravo. Vandalism at Jewish grave sites reported inside the historic Union Cemetery. Dozens of headstones with the Star of David were found lying on the ground. Gravestones were in Hebrew and English, some over 100 years old. The community is being asked to help find the vandals. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FAST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FAST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FAST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I know one thing we'll be talking about Monday morning. The deadline will have come and gone on Hamas. Wow, what a story.
And claiming that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, is a man. What harm does that do? What's wrong with it?
It really is sick. And we'll explain why
Okay.
on the next Armstrong and Getty show. And of course, we'll have the news of the day for you, issues, analysis on the Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Charlie Kirk Show. Weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
842-5376-842-KERN. As we talked about at the top of the show, the GOP tried again to put the continuing resolution on the floor of the Senate, and the Democrats said no. Only 3 Democrats signed on: John Fetterman and the newly elected senator out of Nevada, Catherine Cortez Masto, and my favorite independent, Angus King. I love that name for some reason. Angus King. Sounds like a steak restaurant. Have you ever been to Angus King's? Yeah, it's great. He's an independent out of Maine. They're the only 3 that we can get away. And of course, Rand Paul out of Commonwealth of Kentucky negates one of those because he voted against it. He's saying he's voting against anything that'll add trillions of dollars to the deficit. So that is unfortunate. But the debate continues on whether or not undocumented citizens will receive medical care. And Republicans are saying that they shan't. Democrats are saying that they should. We have that audio from yesterday from Hillary. This is what Hillary Clinton, this is from Joe Rogan. This was Hillary Clinton. And, I watched, and yet no one made allusion to this. No one made allusion. The top vote getter for the Democratic Party saved Biden in 20, but the top vote getter for a Democrat since, get rid of Biden's unbelievable victory in 2020, which is kind of bizarre. I'm not feeding into the controversy, but if you look at the level of votes for all the way back to the beginning of the century, they're all around the same. And then Biden's is way up. It is kind of bizarre, but that's beside the point. But nobody alludes to this. Check this out for those who didn't hear it yesterday. It's off the Joe Rogan show.
With this one. Jamie, go to that Hillary Clinton thing that I texted you today. This one is wild.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
How about that? More MAGA than Trump.
We don't want them having the same benefits as American citizens. We already know that too many are coming in now, and that they'll do anything to, and we don't want to do anything to encourage these people to come into the country. And when somebody of the Republican ilk says that, they're racist. But Hillary's on record of saying that, and in these network shows, they just absolutely ignore that fact and call us a bunch of racists and, what are we going to do? As if they're not going to get medical care that we have to pay for. And again, like I said, I'm becoming very hard on this because if you're invested in this country, you've got to learn the language. I'm sorry, you have to learn the language. And it's almost an affront to the rest of us. And I don't know what the motivation is not to learn English, but you can't perceive how it's seen by those of us. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a spit in the face. I snuck into your country. I'm benefiting from all the freedoms that the founding fathers created, but I'm not going to learn your language. Why the hell would I learn your language? Why would I want to assimilate? Why would I want to do the things that would make me truly an American citizen? I've been here 25 years and I'm still an illegal immigrant. That don't make no sense. I approached it from a different aspect when I first got into this, and I kept thinking, they've been here 25 years. They paid their taxes on their checks and they've kept their nose clean. Let's just leave them alone. And now the more I just beginning to believe that no, you've been given a great gift. Take advantage of it. And it's if you're like, oh, screw you guys. I'm here now. What are you going to do? I don't have to learn the language. Meantime, Carolyn Levitt addressed this in today's press briefings. Here is one of the finest press secretaries I've ever seen.
Is it the administration's position that hospitals should not have to treat people who come into the emergency department who are not here legally?
No, that's not our position. Our position is that it's completely unacceptable that the Biden administration paroled and encouraged an invasion of tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country and then promised them free health care. And the Democrats are on the record repeatedly stating that they believe illegal aliens should have health care benefits, free health care benefits in the United States of America. So that is a recipe for a disaster. Of course, you're going to encourage a mass illegal invasion of our country, which is exactly what happened. And we've seen the unfortunate consequence of that, where American patients are being put last, where American patients are having to wait in wait rooms, where grandmothers and grandfathers are waiting hours and hours for care because they're being put behind the line to illegal aliens. And we don't agree with that. We don't support that. That's why the administration is desperately trying to fix it and deport the tens of millions of illegal aliens that the Democrats and the Biden administration allowed into our country.
And it's exactly what Hillary Clinton warned against, almost to the word. We don't want to encourage them. By giving them free medical care, you have created a carrot. They are wasting it away in these horrendous countries that aren't providing them health care. They get word from their cousin, their primo, that the United States is providing absolutely free health care. We just took the boy to the emergency room. He's broken arm and he's home already. And we didn't pay a nickel. What? I'm on my way. There's got to be a line in the sand drawn. I'm sorry. It may be black-hearted, it may be evil, but at the end of the day, when we see so many people having to wait in line behind folks that aren't citizens, that won't assimilate, that's what you must do when you are a guest of a country. When you're invited to stay at somebody's home, if they tell you you got to shower between 7 and 8, guess what? You got to assimilate to their schedule. You can't say, well, I'm going to take one at 9 o'clock. I don't give a damn when you all take a shower. You are a guest of this country. You are reaping the benefits of the freedom and the ability to earn a living and to have a home and raise a family. The least you can do it with your children. Do it with your grandchildren and learn the language. It's really not that difficult. It is the most difficult language on the planet because of our different rules, but basic English is really not that. Now, you get into grammar and things that I have studied, it's a little more difficult. Like I pointed out the other day when we talked about this, most of you all don't speak correct English. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. You don't know what modifies a linking verb, because all of you say, I feel badly. That's just grammatically wrong. I'm sorry. Most of you say, I could care less, which means you care. And you're trying to say, I don't care. I care so less, I couldn't possibly care less. But none of y'all say that. So we're not talking about the intricacies of grammar and analyzing sentences and diagramming sentences. That's what I studied. That's what I do. That's why I talk into this thing 5 days a week. All I'm talking about is simple, basic English, where you can talk to a police officer when something goes wrong and they come to your home, that they can have a conversation with you. And I don't want to use the word lazy because that's not, there's a stigma and a stereotype with Latinos, with the siesta and the hat and the guy, sitting on the ground asleep with sombrero over his head. So I don't want to use the word lazy, but it's insulting to a great degree We're providing you with a great, great life opportunity. It's called America. And you've done nothing to give it back. You've done nothing. You haven't gotten involved in the process to become an American citizen, and you haven't even done the basic, simple thing of learning the language. And I haven't always felt like this. I really haven't. But now, but it was a different world. It was pre-Biden. It was before he hung out the carrot and invited all of these people in, and then sent around his border czar, Kamala Harris, who would literally go on television in the middle of this stampede across the Red River, the Rio Grande, and everything else in El Paso, and she would say, the border is secure. She'd look right into the camera and say, the border is secure. But she lost because she only had 107 days, not because she was dishonest and disingenuous and just an absolute horrendous, horrendous candidate. No. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we come back, we'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. And because of my stupidity, maybe old age, maybe the THC, Congressman Fong was correct. He was scheduled at 4 o'clock, but he's such a good dude. He's still going to join us at 5. Early in the season, I just forget about Brandon Lang. Where are we, 2 or 3 weeks in?
4.
4 weeks? Yeah,
well, technically it's 5 and 6 because
I should be on board with Brandon by now. But we will talk with Congressman Fong at 5, and then stopping by on his way from the North County, Supervisor David Couch. We'll talk about his assembly race. Stan Ellis, as most of you know, announced he is not running for re-election, and he has already endorsed Assemblyman Couch. Yeah, I said it. That's right. Quick timeout. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and
Messmaker.
It's your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll see if we've survived the government shutdown for another weekend. We will talk to Marco from America's Job Center of Kern. That's all I need after a 49er win. We'll talk about Brunch Fest coming up and state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hope you're with us on Thursday when Daniel Petrie, our money man from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, joined us and gave us the ins and outs on the government shutdown and what impact it's going to have on you. But again, you know what they're all about. They're all about retirement and investing beyond your 401k and Social Security. And it is so much fun to be a part of great sponsors that I have, where you can hear people that actually take my advice and get involved with our sponsors. Chris Orr called in. He is now a client at with Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Lisa, our traffic director, got her husband involved as a client. He's a good man who does great things for these people. You heard Chris talk about him yesterday. Call him today at 395-9400, 395-9400. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWAE, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272.
Don't miss Megyn Kelly live on stage with special guests Charlie Sheen and Victor Davis Hanson, November 20th at Dignity Health Arena. Get tickets now at MegynKelly.com. Presented by Y-Refi and SiriusXM.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Got 8:27 tomorrow. And I'm gonna make it. If I have to wrap up this knee, I can't explain it. This gout thing is so bizarre. I was out in my lawn. I ordered some food, and I looked, and it said they'll be here in 12 minutes. So I said, cool. I grabbed my lob wedge, a couple of balls, went out in the front yard to chip for about 15 minutes till my food got there. Grabbed my driver. I was taking some swings. I felt great. I was like, cool. I hope Mike calls. Woke up this morning, and no, it was like in the middle of the night, actually. It was my 4 a.m. run to the bathroom, and I got out of bed, and I stepped down. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding. And it was in my knee. And I took an allopurinol, and I took a colchicine. I took another colchicine like 20 minutes ago. I'm going, and I'm going to play Sunday with Mark and the boys. But God, I was swinging so well, and now it just hurts when I land. Not that anyone cares. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. 842-537-6842 KERN. What do you got on board?
Got a call for you real quick.
Who you got?
You got Frank on the line.
Frank, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hi, Ralph. I used to live in Mesquite, Nevada, and I was a volunteer for the long drive contest at the time.
Yeah.
And I won a pro bag in a raffle. Now, I've never used it. It's black, it's big, with a long drive logo on it. And I want to offer the bag to you. Maybe you can auction it off during the Honor Flight fundraiser.
That is an outstanding idea. Thank you very, very much. That's a great idea.
I've had it for a couple of years, and I can bring it down to your station and drop it off.
All right. We're located at 1400 Easton Drive.
I've been there before.
Okay, very good. Very good. Where do you think we should start the bidding?
I have no idea. Probably $100.
$100? Hell, my bag is more than was worth more than $100.
No, that's the start. I mean, the bag is big, it's beautiful, and it's got the long drive logos all over it.
Yeah.
So
we'll start at $2. We'll start at $2. And hopefully
over that thing.
Huh?
They'll probably fight over it.
Yeah, good. Maybe we'll get 5 or 6, maybe even get a G for it, maybe. We'll see. That's a great idea, Frank. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you thinking about our veterans and our fundraiser.
Absolutely. And can I just drop it off anytime? Or?
Absolutely. What are our hours, Chris?
You're going to want to drop it off on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Friday between 11 and 4. That's when we're going to have one of the promo kids up in the front. They'll be able to help you out a little bit easier.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 to 4.
Well, isn't the Okay, when's the Honor Flight fundraiser?
It is October the 16th.
Yes.
I thought it was the 7th.
No, the 16th. The 16th.
Still got a couple weeks.
Right after, because Honor Flight, they're leaving on the 13th, a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that week, and then we're having the fundraiser the very next day after they return.
I was on the Honor Flight 40.
Is that right? Was I on that flight?
No, you were not.
No? Okay. Well, very
I would have
good.
I would have remembered that.
I would think, because I try to get around and meet just about everybody. What was your experience on the flight and the trip?
Well, there was a lot of tears.
Yeah.
It was mostly when we came back and they started handing out envelopes with.
Well, don't talk about that, because that's there could be potential guys listening, and that's kind of a surprise. But I know exactly what you're talking about. And you know what, Frank? I have always said that is the most emotional part of the trip, even more than seeing all and going to the memorials. I think that is. I've seen flight attendants crying during that period of the trip.
I have too. Yeah, it was very emotional.
Yeah. But let's
I really enjoyed it. So,
yeah. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
What time can I bring the bag down again? Would you give me those hours and days?
11 to 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yep.
Okay, pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for your service, and thank you for thinking of our veterans and helping us out. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Right on.
All right. Take care. That is outstanding. That really, really is. And don't forget, our fundraiser, you're going to see this everywhere for those that subscribe to YouTube and are watching us, the 150 to 200 people that watch us just about every day. This is, I've been blessed, as I was just talking about the other day. I've done a lot of things in my career. I've had to be able to talk to a lot of different people. I've smoked cigars with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was outside the courthouse when O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. I've had some interesting things. I spent a week at Vero Beach and got to interview Maury Wills and got to interview Frank McCourt. And I've done some really, really fun, interesting things in my career. But by far, the most rewarding, the most intense, the most emotional thing that I've ever done in the 30 years that I've been working is my involvement with Honor Flight, my involvement with the veterans, my involvement with the Guardians and the people that make Honor Flight work, because these people are angels. Not only do they spend their $1,500 to go, some of them, like Jeff Salters, 15, 20 times. Linda Bowden, Jackie Sullivan's daughter has been 20 times. Charlie Wilmot's been 20 some odd times. It's just an amazing organization. And I know you probably get tired of hearing me talk about it. I try to talk about it. At Jeff Salter's Hero Award, I took about 2 or 3 minutes to talk about Honor Flight, because I told these people what I tell everybody whenever I do public speaking. I'm sorry, I'm going to take a couple of minutes, because whenever I have an audience, I want to get the message out that A, if you know veterans that have not gone on this trip, get them on these planes. And the thing that you have to understand when you approach these veterans is they're going to be incredibly, stubbornly reluctant. It's almost to a person that has gone that these older gentlemen and ladies are reluctant to go. They don't want to get out of their old. I mean, I'm in my 60s, early 60s, and I have a routine, and I hate when I get out of my routine every single day. I don't do the same thing every day, but on a Monday, I do the same thing I do every Mondays, and on Tuesdays, and And I don't want to get out of that routine. I can't imagine being 10, 15 years older and having to get out of that routine. So they're going to fight you. Believe me, if you try to say, Grandpa, we think you should go, or Uncle Bailey, you should go on this trip, they're going to be reluctant. Work on them. Have them talk to other veterans. It is literally a life-changing event for these guys. It really is. And I just pray and hope that you will help us out 2 weeks from now, the 16th. Try to raise 50 grand at least. Try to raise $50,000. In 8 years, you all have raised over $300,000. And I can't remember the number, how that equates to how many veterans we've sent back. I know 2 years ago when we raised $53,000, we footed the entire bill for the Native American flight. Bakersfield is the most generous, magnanimous community in America, in my humble opinion, and we adore our veterans. Truly hope you'll help us out. We're headed into the final hour of the week with two of our favorite legislators. We lead off with Congressman Vince Vaughn, and then at the bottom of the hour, live in studio, Assemblyman, that's right, I said it, Assemblyman David Couch.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The White House says there's a Trump ultimatum for Israel.
President Donald Trump has ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas says that it has accepted some elements of his plan
but if
to
I had
end
gotten
the
it
nearly
straight, you could
two-year
have done it
war.
now.
Trump wrote on social media that Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly, saying that right now it's far too dangerous to do that, indicating that discussions were underway to work out the details. Some of the elements that Hamas says they have accepted includes giving up power and releasing all remaining hostages. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Hamas's response fell short of Israel's demands that the group surrender and disarm. Another vote to fund the government has failed in the Senate, and there's no end to the stalemate in sight. House Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Republicans show no signs of wanting to end this shutdown.
Donald Trump and the Republicans are not behaving responsibly. They're not behaving in a serious manner. They don't want to reopen the government, and they certainly do not want to address the healthcare crisis that Republicans have created.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune is blasting Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer and his party for refusing to compromise.
I just don't know how they sustain this position. They've locked themselves, and Schumer has led them into this down this rat hole, and I don't know how they get out of it right now. But it's going to take we need 5 of them to flip.
Senator Thune spoke to the Salem Radio Network. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 238 points, the Nasdaq down by 63, the S&P up a fraction. More at townhall.com.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones. And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. 5 men, including the suspect who escaped custody last month, have all been sentenced to life in prison on charges of involvement with gang-related shootings. They were found guilty on charges that include conspiracy to commit murder. All were members of the Colonia Baker Street gang. 3 were convicted in connection with a shooting that wounded 2 people on December 24th, 2021. All 5 were convicted in the shooting death of Mario Bravo at Mesa Marin Sports Complex on the night of September 20th, 2021. A man from Kern County could face 11 years in prison after being convicted of threatening his girlfriend's father with a knife and throwing a flashlight at him. Scotty Chambers was found guilty of felony criminal threats, assault, and brandishing a weapon. Court records show that Chambers has a serious prior felony conviction, making this a second strike case. It started with an argument between Chambers and his girlfriend outside her home in Oildale. Father says he intervened when he saw Chambers push his daughter. Sentencing hearing for Chambers is set for November 12th. California has begun issuing redesigned driver's license with enhanced security features. The state rolled out the newly designed driver's licenses and ID cards with new security elements on Wednesday. The new design includes an added digital security signature to one of 2 barcodes on the back of the cards. California is one of the first states to implement this kind of digital security technology. Vandalism at Jewish grave sites reported inside the historic Union Cemetery. Dozens of headstones with the Star of David were found lying on the ground. Gravestones were in Hebrew and English, some over 100 years old. The community is being asked to help find vandals. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think this is, the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the week as we wrap up another 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at kernradio.com and broadcast live on YouTube. We're closing in on 400 subscribers. Appreciate the love. We still got lots to do in the final hour. Coming up, when I stop talking, we're going to talk with Congressman Vince Fong, day 3 of the shutdown. And then after the break, Supervisor David Couch, or should I say, he'll be live in studio with us right after our break. But let's get right to it. Congressman Fong, thank you so much for taking the time. Sir, are you in the great state of California?
I am. I got in around midnight last night.
Yeah, outstanding, outstanding. And how is the boy?
Boy, my son is great. Nothing's better than coming home and at least, my son was asleep, so I didn't get a chance to get that welcome. But it's being a parent is the best thing ever.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He'll be 7 months on the 15th.
Wow. So look out. He's about to start walking.
He's got to call first. I think he hasn't done that yet, but we got one of those walkers. My wife got something at Target.
And he's running around in that?
Right around the house. So.
And then they start grabbing onto furniture. And then you got to do the thing where you put them up. You want to, I'll teach you how to teach them how to walk. I'm telling you. I did this with my sister. You put them up against a wall, and then you kind of slowly walk off, and they come to you.
It's the Ralph Bailey technique.
That's correct. That's correct. Said the man who's never had a child.
Right now we're trying to baby-proof the house. I think that's
yes.
The thing that we're trying to do.
Oh yes, the difficult first 2 years. Yes, honey, he's made a mess. Speaking of messes, the Democrats shot down the continuing resolution. Please explain to our listeners what this thing is all about and why Democrats, at least the remainder, 3 of them jumped on, but why the remainder of them simply won't sign on to a continuing resolution that they signed on to 6 months ago. We can discuss the Obama tax credits. We can get that done separately. But why? Explain why they will not jump on board.
This is the most frustrating thing. This shutdown was completely avoidable.
Yep.
On September 19th, the House gave the Senate a continuing resolution, which is insider speak for a bill that basically funds the government at the current level to November 21st. The Appropriations Committee members, they were asking for 7 weeks to try to figure out and negotiate a bipartisan funding agreement to fund the government for the long haul. So we gave the Senate this bill. Senator Schumer is afraid of the progressive left. I mean, when he extended the CR and funded the government through December and then through March, his progressive base just went
Tore them apart. Yeah.
Tore them apart and said, you can't do this. You got to stop the president. And again, so he is choosing brinksmanship and politics over governing. I mean, we have to govern.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, listen to the words of Chuck Schumer over the last 5 or 6 years, even probably the last 10 years. And he has said that shutdowns are terrible. They're not the way to govern. There's real consequences, both economically and to families that rely on government agencies. You look at the military; they don't get paid but they're still deployed and working. So we need 60 votes in the Senate. The overwhelming majority, of course, support this proposal. We had 3 Democrats that signed on. We need 5 more. But Chuck Schumer's got to be an adult.
Yeah.
We need some adults in the Senate. When I was in D.C. Over the past few days, trying to shake things loose, I've talked to Republicans and Democrats, and the Democrats privately know this is terrible.
Yep.
That Chuck Schumer has walked them into this box. He is afraid of AOC.
Exactly. Thank you.
He has no way of right now getting out of it without saving face.
Yeah.
And so that's the real crux of the situation. His progressive base are demanding a shutdown, and he's giving it to them. And why, I have no idea. I mean, they're asking for 1.5 trillion in new spending, which is unrealistic. They want to get rid of the guardrails he put in when it comes to preventing tax dollars from going to illegal immigrants. And if for those of you who don't believe that to be true, look at California. California is Exhibit A. When Gavin Newsom, and they call it the California loophole.
Yeah.
California, Governor Newsom expanded Medicaid in California to allow for healthcare to go to illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And Gavin Newsom took the federal money and was blending it into the general fund so that you couldn't track it. And I was in the state legislature on the budget committee imploring the governor not to do this.
Yeah.
And so, this is what we're trying. So, when Chuck Schumer's like, these are all these unrealistic demands that we want, but at the end of the day, we're going to hold the country hostage. We're going to hold the government hostage for something that is truly unattainable. I mean, it makes no sense.
None whatsoever. And you stole my line because I was going to say, I think he's looking over his shoulder at a former bartender from the Bronx, but you beat me to it because I think you're exactly right. He's not up for a couple of years, but I think she's eyeballing that seat, and I think he's scared to death. I got to play some audio for you that I think you'll get a kick out of. Listen to this. This is from Joe Rogan, circa 2015, 2016. Listen to
We
this.
do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
I mean, that is just remarkable to me. Remarkable that in 2016, Hillary Clinton was more MAGA than MAGA.
Well, there are the same videos of Chuck Schumer saying the exact same thing.
Yep.
I mean, they have taken both sides of this issue, and again, you're absolutely right. I mean, when I was I had just gotten elected, and this is my first lame duck period in December, and Chuck Schumer is being voted to fund the government and get us through September, or actually through March, and then down to September. But there was a survey, a poll that came out right after he did that, and AOC beat Chuck Schumer in a primary in New York.
Yeah.
And that was what triggered this, this trade wreck that we're watching. I mean, being in DC when I was over the past couple of weeks, I mean, it's like watching in slow motion when Chuck Schumer has a path forward to allow for negotiations to continue. His own side is asking, look, we need more time. We need to figure this out. Let's have the negotiations. So this media narrative that says that there was no conversation, that nothing was happening, that's completely bogus. That's not true. We've been working for the past few months to try to get a funding deal, but Chuck Schumer was the one holding it up. And there's a lot of people that say, well, why does Chuck Schumer matter? Because you need 60 votes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go back to how bill becomes law. And that's why Chuck Schumer, his small local minority, is holding up the entire federal government and holding the whole country hostage for something that no one agrees with.
Yeah. What do you think about the Obama subsidies? I think those should be renewed. And the polling numbers are overwhelming. 92% of Democrats think they should be renewed, 82% of independents, 59% of Republicans. And somehow there's a category of MAGA that says 57% of MAGA thinks they should be renewed as well. I don't know what the difference is between the Republican Party and MAGA, but okay. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, something has to be done. And you listen to the president, you listen to the vice president. They want to have a conversation to try to reform the whole process.
Yeah.
All these subsidies, which are completely separate from government funding.
Right.
So I mean, that's what people are trying to link these two things together. We can have the conversation about what to do with healthcare, but then we can fund the government at the same time.
Yes.
And that's the first important point. But then when these subsidies were passed, were passed to expire. The Democrats actually had it expire, and of course it was COVID. It was a COVID era response. They jacked up the subsidy. The insurance companies get most of it, and so that's the thing. Should someone who makes $500,000 get a subsidy? So there's a conversation, like, is someone who makes 400-500% of the poverty level, who makes who has a significant amount of resources, should they get the same subsidy as someone who's living on the poverty level?
Yeah.
So that's the things that we're trying to address. So so all of these things on the healthcare front, we should have that debate, have that conversation. Let the committees work their will and get input from both sides. That's what we're trying to do. But do you shut the government down because you don't get your way?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's what makes no sense.
Yeah. Even Ruben Gallegos, the new senator from Arizona, wanted to jump on with a week-long continuing resolution just to negotiate. But then he went and voted against the CR today, which I really don't understand. I'll leave you with this.
4 times the Senate has been given an opportunity to pass this CR to allow the government to reopen. We want to reopen the government today.
Yeah.
Let's just pass the CR and get us to November 21st so we can begin to continue those conversations.
Yeah. I'll leave you with this. Vince Fong is our guest, Congressman. What's the off-ramp for this thing?
Well, the off-ramp is to pass the CR.
Yeah.
If the Senate had voted to pass this 7-week continuing resolution, which is bipartisan, it would have reopened the government tonight. I mean, now we're probably going to have another vote on Monday to see if Chuck Schumer can be an adult and come to his senses. And if he doesn't want to, let his members vote their conscience. Let the rank and file of the Democratic Conference, let them vote.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that 8 of them, more than 8 of them, will actually vote to reopen the government, because no one wants the flood insurance program has expired. Troops won't get paid starting October 15th. You've got You've got families who need access to a lot of programs, whether it's Women, Infant, and Children, the WIC program. I mean, all of these things. Let's just reopen the government right now, and then have and continue the negotiations. That can happen right now, immediately, at this point in time.
TSA people, traffic controllers not getting paid, just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Always great to talk to you, Congressman. I was the one that screwed up the time. You were scheduled for 4:00. That was my error. I apologize. But always great.
I'll always make time for you, Ralph.
I appreciate that, sir. Always great to talk to you. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
That's right. Thanks,
All right.
Ralph.
Thank you. Congressman Vince Vaughn, from one legislator to another. Assemblyman. Yes, Senator. David Couch joins us next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Monday edition, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show. Buck will be back from Taiwan with tons of stories to tell from there, I would well imagine. Plus, the ongoing shutdown. Is there any
Dave,
light
you wanna
at
wait
the
till
end of the
5:30?
tunnel, or will it
6 or 7
continue on
minutes.
for
We can do
weeks?
it
We'll
now.
break it all down for you. Make sure you don't miss us after a great weekend. Clay and Buck. Coming.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You guys know that I'm not a really big fan of Halloween, but can we at least admit that at the end of the night, it's really about a risque evening of ladies wearing kitty cats and police uniforms and the dirty nurse, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that team was picked up at Casey's Steakhouse because on October 31st, Cassie Biddle is throwing a 1001 night party, which is going to skip the costume party and join them for dinner and a belly dancing show. It's going to be a great night with a 5-course meal, 2 craft cocktails, and photos with the belly dancers who'll be performing on F Street for 3 hours that night. Tonight, you may not want to miss October 31st, obviously Halloween night, beginning at 6:30 on F Street at KC Steakhouse. Longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272.
This is your intrepid news reporter, Scoop Newsman, coming to you live from a helicopter high above the historic Santa Margarita Ranch. From this break reporter's lofty vantage point, I can see preparations are continuing for the return of the Jingle Bell Express that will whisk passengers to Santa's Village. Reports are that the historic Jingle Bell Express will be pulling amongst their cadre of rolling stock, genuine original Disney train cars. Once you arrive, kids and adults will be entertained like never before with a mystic magic show, a charming Christmas market, adorable pony rides, and more food, fun, and frivolity than ever. The Jingle Bell Express will be arriving at the historic Santa Margarita Ranch November 28th and running until December 21st. But get your tickets now. This reporter also has a source deep inside Santa's Village that has confirmed that if your plans change, your tickets can change too, from now until November. So make sure you reserve your seats on the Jingle Bell Express by going to christmas@themargarita.com before the Christmas train passes you by.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
We're going to bring in Supervisor Couch, but we only have about 5 minutes, 6 minutes to the bottom of the hour. He's been kind enough to hang on in our green room, even though it's not green, and come in at bottom of the hour where we can literally go for as long as we want. Well, at least till 6 o'clock. That's when I'm leaving. I don't know about the rest of y'all. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
Stabbing someone is a very personal killing. You
Yeah,
have
it
to be
is.
up close and personal to take the life. Unlike a firearm, I've always believed a murderer who uses a knife has to be extra evil.
Bradley Perez. I guess I don't have to say alleged anymore since he has been sentenced and convicted. Stabbed 20-year-old Lawrence Leyva in the neck. According to witnesses and according to KGT, Leyva got jumped by 4 guys at a party. They started beating the crap out of him. And Perez pulled out a knife and stuck it in his neck. The boy died an hour later. Our vaunted district attorney's office, who I will grant was my hero, they came to my aid when I got sucker punched twice in the face, had a broken jaw. They could not have been kinder. They could not have been more diligent. They swept that guy up very quickly. He did 2 years, and I was slightly compensated for some of my problems. I could not have been more grateful for the district attorney's office. I really couldn't. In particular, Tristan O'Neill, who was my advocate. But I'm sorry, that doesn't disqualify me from criticizing the DA's office. And maybe it's the legislation. Maybe we have to go back and make new laws. Maybe the DA's office is just following the requirements. But how a person who takes a knife and sticks it into another human being's neck, and I have to see him on the streets, or what am I putting myself into it? The Leyva family has to see this man on the streets 5 years from now? Sean Combs got 4 years and 2 months for prostitution, for 2 counts of prostitution-related incidents. This man, or this child, he's 20, stuck a knife in somebody's neck. He got out of jail in 5 years. Plea deal with H.A. Sala. Man, Umberto works the DA's office like a puppeteer. He really does. That's why I've always said, you ever hear, we've got a 187 at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Ralph Bailey. My first call won't be to Harriet. Shoot. My first call is to Umberto Sala. He just got a man 6 years for sticking a guy in the neck with a knife. He punks the DA's office. Let's be honest. He absolutely punks. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's the law. They initially charged him with first-degree murder and then kicked it down to involuntary manslaughter. And, you know, it's been said that some DA's office, I'm not insisting ours, but they like to chalk up victories. And it's a whole lot easier to get a win when you just settle it, never go to trial, never rely on a jury, because as they always say in court, you never know what a jury's going to do. And you better believe they know what DAs know their conviction statistics better than baseball players know what their batting average is. You better know that. Let's make that clear. I'm not implying, well, I am implying, I'm not stating, but I am implying that I think that some of these deals are done to keep that, 92, 94% conviction rate up? It's insane. It's insane that somebody can kill somebody and do less than a decade? Do 6 years max. If that makes sense to anybody that can hear my voice, please call and explain it to me like I'm a 6th grader. Because I just don't understand that. I think if you take somebody's life, you've got to go. Because here's the big secret. You really think Bradley Perez is done? You really think he's going to come out of prison and say, you know what? I'm starting all over. I'm getting away from violence. I'm getting away from. He's likely affiliated with some kind of group. I'm not going to get specific, but I bet he's a gangbanger. I'd be willing to bet he's a gangbanger. I have no knowledge. I heard this story on KGT. I haven't read it anywhere. But if you're willing to stick a knife in somebody's neck, are you really believing that that guy is done with his criminality? He'll be right back out on the streets in less than half a decade. And if there's anybody that believes that that guy is going to die an old man, having never gone to jail again, you done lost your mind, as my grandmother used to say. That's the true travesty, that Bradley Perez will find another victim. And how these people jump in their Mercedes and get on trucks and then drive home and get a good night's sleep after sending a guy who put a knife in somebody's neck in jail for 6 years. I wish I knew whatever insomnia pills they take, because I can't believe their conscience allows them to just lay down and get a good night's sleep. 6 years, they'll be walking the streets of Bakersfield. Unbelievable. We make a massive pivot. Stan Ellis announced he is not running for re-election. And in the same press release announced that he's endorsing our next guest. As we wrap up the week and wrap up the broadcast, final half hour of the Ralph Bailey Show, Supervisor David Couch joins us. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump on Friday ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of his plan to end the nearly 2-year war and return all the remaining hostages taken in the October 7th attack. Hamas said it was willing to release the hostages and hand over power to other Palestinians, but that other aspects of the plan require further consultation among Palestinians.
That's it.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said he ordered another strike on a small boat he accused of carrying drugs off Venezuela. It expands what the Trump administration has declared as an armed conflict with cartels. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 238 points. The NASDAQ dropped 63. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. One person has died after an assault on White Lane. Bakersfield police say that just after 10 o'clock Thursday morning, an officer witnessed a victim being attacked while in the 100 block of White Lane. The officer gave aid to the victim. Emergency medical was called, but the victim did not survive. The alleged attacker is in custody. Anyone who knows anything about what led to the attack is asked to call Bakersfield police. There were delays on Interstate 5 in Gorman Heights this morning after a motorcycle crash. CHP says it happened just after 10:45 a.m. on northbound I-5 at Gorman School Road. Officers say there were 2 motorcycles involved. One of the riders was hurt. The medical helicopter was called in. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries here in Kern County. If you are eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today at 661-554-4544. Let us help you understand your healthcare options for 2025. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs and meetings, call 661-554-4544, TTY 711.
I know one thing we'll be talking about Monday morning. The deadline will have come and gone on Hamas. Wow, what a story.
And claiming that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, is a man. What harm does that do? What's wrong with it? It really is sick. And we'll explain why on the next Armstrong and Getty show. And of course, we'll have the news of the day for you, issues, analysis on the Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Will you? Yeah. Finally, I found the broadcast, as those of you who subscribe on YouTube can see. Supervisor David Couch is live in studio. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Haven't seen you in a while.
I know. Where you been? Here?
Right downtown and here. That's the only place I go. Only place I go. And the golf course tomorrow morning, 8:27. Come join us.
I hear about your exploits.
Yeah, I talk about my golf game a lot.
That's all right.
I bore the hell out of people. It's my passion.
I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, really? Because it was weird, David. When I was a fat tub, I was like a 12, 13 handicap, and I lost the weight, and I got the shanks, and it was like couldn't break. It was like 98, 99, couldn't break 90.
It probably threw your swing off.
It totally did. It totally did. And now I'm finally back in the 80s.
But you're going to live longer. So
yeah,
there's that.
Did you check? You're the perfect person to talk to about this. I found out that recreational tennis is the healthiest sport.
I recently read
planet.
that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And it adds 9 years to your life.
I didn't know that.
You're going to be here a long time.
I've already been here a long time. So,
but you were a tennis star.
Long. That was decades.
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
You were like the Roscoe Tanner of Bakersfield.
You know, there were people that preceded me that were better.
Yeah.
Hank Pfister.
Yeah. Well, true.
I mean, that he got to be. I think he was 19 or 20 in the world at one time.
Really?
You never hear about the number 19 or 20,
Sure.
right? But he got there.
Yeah. Can you beat Cox? Scott?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. So, running for assembly. Got the endorsement of Stan Ellis.
Yes.
Why leave?
Which I very much appreciate. By the way.
Why do you want to go to Sacramento and deal with these idiots?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I can't imagine. I asked Stan Ellis the same thing when he announced.
Well, and I kind of have this, I don't even know what he said, but I bet my answer is similar. Once you kind of get into this, you enjoy, I do enjoy this.
Yeah.
What I tell some people is, I just kind of want to go to Sacramento and see if it's really as bad as everybody says, which it probably, I'm sure it's probably worse.
I'm pretty sure.
But you know, I got kids and they're grown, but I got grandkids. They're growing up in an environment that is nothing like my life was when I was growing up here. And a lot of it is not due necessarily to local issues or local influences. It's the state of California. Take Stan Ellis, for example. There's 80 assembly members and 80 state senators. If we had 120 Stan Ellises up there, this place would run like a top.
Yep.
So I'd like to have a hand in that, but I'd also like to help get some other good people elected.
Yeah.
To the assembly and the Senate.
Have any?
We can turn it around. It's doable.
Yeah. Have any idea what your agenda is going to be? What you're going to try to focus on? What you'd like to change?
Well, there's so many things that a lot of things that get forced down. This is something I don't think gets a lot of attention. A lot of things that get forced down from the state or the federal government get implemented by counties.
Yeah.
Some by cities, but a lot of it ends up on the county's lap. And a lot of times they're just dreaming up programs or implementing things that they have no idea how they're going to get implemented. And I feel like there's a lack of sort of connection between the local government that actually does this work. And I'd like to bring that aspect to it, at least that perception to think about, well, let's call our CAO and let's call our public health director and our behavioral health director to see what they think of this before we just do it.
Right.
But there's so many things that I've learned down there. For example, here's a small one. When somebody makes a assessment appeal of their
Right.
property tax,
Right.
that system is antiquated, but the county is stuck implementing this information in a state system. It needs to be updated. And I could go on about there's hundreds of things like that people really need to get down. We need to have somebody who will get down in the weeds a little bit and say, this needs to be fixed and that needs to be fixed. And we need to do this differently. I don't know what they do up there. As Stan says, the first 3 months they declare National
Yeah.
State Butterfly Day and
We had-
Rice Day and whatever else. But
we had him on the other day. He
Yeah.
talked about that. That's incredible. That really is. If you had a magic wand and could fix one thing the state does that impacts Kern County, what would it be?
well, it would begin and end if it's just one thing with public safety, with homelessness, with our approach in the state to public safety and to homelessness is just completely baffling to me.
Yeah.
There are bad people that are on the streets. There are people that are on the streets that shouldn't be, that have mental health issues, that have drug problems, that should not be on the streets, that need. It's not compassionate for us to leave people laying on the sidewalk.
No.
It's just not. It's just not the way to approach the problem and say, oh, we can't. Well, we've got to approach them, 17 times on average before they'll trust us to come in and get a sandwich and get some sort of help. There's got to be a different approach to that.
Can we reinstitute mental institutions?
I
Isn't
don't-
that much more
Yes.
kinder and empathetic
I
than it
don't-
is to let them waller on the streets?
I think it's going to take. Our system is such that you do something you think is legal and you'll get sued for it, and then you go to court and you defend it, and you find out if it's legal the way you did it, and if not, you adjust it and you find a way to make it work.
Right.
But we're not even trying that. We're not making that first
No.
attempt and seeing, well, what are people going to say about this? And you don't do it in a vacuum. You've got to go out and get public input from everybody and figure out what will people support. But I think people have gotten to the point where status quo isn't going to do it. We got to do lots and lots of things very differently.
Do you feel the homeless situation is getting worse?
I think it is slightly better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I don't want to, let me say it this way in a positive way. I think there are success stories. I know there are coming out of M Street and out of the Brundage Lane Center. The problem, and it's not, I shouldn't say it this way, but the problem is they're one at a time. They're person by person, because everybody that goes through that, if they're sincere and serious, they come out the other end and hopefully they get a job and hopefully they get a place to live and all that. But it's always on a different schedule for every person.
Yeah.
So you don't see 100 people taken off the streets and put into housing and into jobs right away. It takes time for each one of those people rather, to get through the whatever process they need to get there.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say that when I've got a guy not only living on the wall up against my apartment along 23rd Street, but he's created, he not only has
They're
a
very
tent,
creative.
Yeah, he's not only got a tent in the middle of the wall, in the middle of the block, but he's got trash from one street to the next street, which I don't understand. He's living in the middle of the wall, but there's trash all left to the right of him, and it's just, and he's a screamer. Right around
great.
10, 11 o'clock, he starts just screaming.
PM or AM?
PM.
Oh,
PM.
perfect.
Yeah. Right when the old man's trying to get some sleep, he's, and just inexplicably.
Sad though.
It
It's sad
is.
that
It
guy's
really
living like that.
is.
That's his existence. That
Yes.
is not compassionate that we allow him to live like that.
No, not at all. David Couch is our guest supervisor. Can we stave off Prop 50? This
I think we can. I think
too.
I think when people understand what is, is happening. And those that don't, Prop 50 is the governor's attempt to redraw the lines, congressional district boundaries.
All because of Texas.
Texas is doing something. They're redrawing their boundaries or their lines. This is something you would normally do after you get the census numbers every 10 years. They're doing it mid-cycle, mid decade. They don't have to. They're doing it. Okay, whatever their reasons are, they in their constitution have the ability to do that.
It's not in our constitution.
Well, we have a proposition we passed. I think it was Prop 20 in 2008 or 9 that
61%
set up the nonpartisan commission, allegedly nonpartisan, but whatever, it's set up. People voted for that, put it in place. It's been, I don't even know if it's been implemented really yet, except once. So now we're going to change all that and give it back to the politicians to draw the lines.
Yeah, exactly. Which is completely opposite of what a democracy is
They
supposed
have to
be
go back
about.
and put it on the ballot and let people vote. And they're not only they're saying they're going about it the right way, and they are. They're putting it on the ballot, so people have to vote for it. But nobody got any input into what these lines look like. Zero input. And you'll not find, I think I've heard of 2 legislators. By the way, Prop 20 said no legislator, no elected individual can be involved, no input, nor they can have any involvement in the drawing of the lines. Find out who drew the lines.
And when Shannon Grove asked that question,
They will not tell
several
you.
different legislators asked that question, and they would not answer it.
Because it's illegal.
That's just, it's like the mafia runs the state or something. It's unbelievable.
See, it's just people, we have to get back to, we have to have I don't think there's any respect for citizens, for taxpayers.
No,
it's just,
none.
we're going to do what we want to do, and that's not right. That's not
Yeah.
what you want government to run like a private business, but private business doesn't have to ask you what you think.
Right.
Government ought to ask.
Especially when you got a governor who's running for president.
Well, and that's what this is really all about.
That is exactly what it's all
He's
about.
trying, I don't think he cares. By the way, this is going to cost around, estimates are $250 million. And the state for the state to,
How much for Kern County?
well, supposedly they're pushing all that money down to the counties to conduct that election. So it shouldn't cost the counties any money, but it's we're state taxpayers.
Yeah.
It's a tax dollar one way or another that's getting spent to have an election that we don't need to have.
Yeah, absolutely. David Couch, our guest. I'm running out of time. I don't want to keep you too long. Anything going on with the county we should know about? Anything business-wise this week?
Not this week, but bigger picture, we're concerned, Senate Bill 237, that's going to provide 2,000 drilling permits a year, we think is a good start, but they didn't include in it well stimulation. Every well around here, I shouldn't say every well, most of the wells, the Kern River Field, the wells on the west side, need not fracking, they need to be steamed.
Yeah.
You can't just, it's not like putting some water on the stove. You got to steam these things for months to get the oil loosened up. So that needs to be fixed. There's a bonding issue with drilling a well that makes drilling a well even that much more expensive. Forget about all the fees that are included in that as well. We need to address that. We did a good thing today. Had a nice day today because had a very interesting morning, which we can talk about, but we opened up what's Fuller Acres Park today. Small little pocket park. Nice, yes, close to Lamont. Nice little quality of life project for a neighborhood that's hasn't gotten a lot of attention in a long time. So,
Yeah.
good for them.
There's been discussions. Your seat is up until 28.
Right. This is a mid-cycle. The assembly is up every 2 years.
Right.
My seat is every 4. So my current term runs all the way through 2028.
So is there any way we can avoid the governor putting a Latino in that seat? Because that's exactly what he's going to do.
Well,
and I am scared to death that it's going to be Rudy Salas. Scared to death.
I've heard a few names bantied around, and let me say it this way. I know there are a lot of people looking at that.
Yeah.
Kern County is a general law county, and basically that means we follow the state law, and that means that the governor appoints in the case of a vacancy. But I think there's a lot of people that are looking at that, including myself, at how do we address that. But I can't break any news today on on that.
Yeah, but there might be a loophole.
Well, we're looking.
Yeah, yeah. Because that affects the budget, does it not? That takes the conservative vote from 4 to 3, and you need 4 to approve a budget, correct? Or am I wrong on that?
You do need 4.
Yeah.
You need 4 for a lot of votes, actually. You need
Yeah.
4 budget transfers, which we don't have on our agenda every meeting, but we have them frequently. They take 4 votes.
Yeah. So that would make that difficult on a 5-member board.
It could.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's ever actually asked me about the budget issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Let's end on that note, shall we? Always good to see you.
Good to see you.
I used to see you and your better half a lot more often. What's up with that?
Well, we're just both busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Here.
I just spoke to her. She had a friend come into town last night, so
Yeah.
they had a good time. So she's having an early night tonight.
I'll tell Laura I said, hey.
I will.
Always good to see you.
too,
Appreciate
man.
you coming in. Really do.
Anytime. I appreciate it.
David Couch, everybody. Quick timeout. We're wrapping this thing up. Tell you what's going on Monday. Preview tomorrow night. I forgot the time. I'll give you the times for tomorrow night's game and Monday's game. We do know Monday's game starts at 3 o'clock Pacific time. And I'm starting to get a little cold or something. I don't know what it is. But it starts, playoff game Monday at 3:05 it starts. And like I said, I'm suddenly just not feeling that well. I don't know what it is. Quick break, final timeout. Keep it locked on Newstalk 96.1 AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. Outstanding.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's the JR Show. Well, the dominoes have begun to fall. Just got word that Stan Ellis, who took over the assembly seat in the state for Vince Farm, will not run for re-election. About 20 minutes later, announcing David Couch for assembly. That's right, the dominoes